You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. Just a little show where
we've been talking about Suikoden for 30 minutes prior to starting.
So it's just like, we should probably go ahead and get some of this on, record some of it. I almost said on tape.
Yeah, we do this on tape. The listeners probably don't know that, but that's how we get this unique sound quality. Is
we do it on a talk boy.
Yeah, we each have a talk boy. I take one home and call you, and then you answer your phone, and then you talk into your talk boy. Well, it's probably not like the most like
splice it together by hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
So you guys can taste the authenticity.
Right. Yeah. Then
the artisanal podcraftery that goes in splicing talk boy tape.
Mm-hmm. We send it to a producer for review and editing, and then we get it back to you in 3 hours.
Yeah, costs us $1,200 an episode.
Yeah, this has not been a lucrative endeavor. This has been a very, very bankrupting experience. TADPOG has been. Patreon.com/TADPOG if you wanna help us out.
Let's see. Well, yeah, this will be our final installment. Part 3 of Suikoden.
Suikoden, the JRPG by Konami.
Konami. Let's see. Starting off, I'm your beard host, Tyler.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. I took off today from work.
Yeah?
Because I'm going to work late 2 other days to kind of compensate, because I told my boss, I was like, I haven't cleaned my house in like 2 months because I haven't had a day, so can I do this? She's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Go do that.
So, question: who's coming over?
Melissa.
Okay, I assumed that was the case. I assumed that Melissa was coming home for a minute.
Yep.
Because otherwise, I know you, and I don't think that you would clean. Because Melissa asked me at a prom, she was like, "How's Tyler been doing with the house?" And it was like, "Fine."
It's amazing.
It's fine. It's fine. Trying to make sure my voice doesn't crack.
It's fine. There are only 40 glasses of piss all around the bedroom.
Could be worse, is what I'm saying. Could be worse. I saw the trash room in the house that Tyler lived in Murray.
Oh, man.
The sun porch, a.k.a. that's where all the trash went.
And I'm surprised because we had that house, and then the garage beside of it was like a studio apartment where just this old man lived. We never saw the old man.
I didn't even know someone was there.
Yeah, someone lived in that little house beside us, and it connected to our house through the trash room.
So is that why you had a trash room? You're like, I don't want that old dude coming in here.
No.
Let's fill this with trash.
I'm just surprised he never smelled anything, or like why are there all these mice?
Yeah, how gross was that guy, you think?
Yeah. He probably like, hell yeah, trash room.
Yeah.
They'll take this out sometime and take my trash out with it. Because, it was just so bad. We had a tiny trash can for 4 guys. So, of course, we each throw one thing away if that trash can's full.
Yeah.
We don't want to take out the trash bag 40 feet to the driveway.
Yeah. Buying a bigger trash can, right out of the question.
Well, it took a long time because that whole we turned into a trash corner. Because, once the trash can got full, it just, trash goes beside the trash can.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with that
concept. It was just all trash corner.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then one day, someone opened up, oh, hey, what is this room back here? Oh, we're just going to push that trash out there. Till it became, just 40 bags of trash out there. We would clean whenever, we're going to have a party tonight. All right, let's empty out the trash room. And then it got much better, though, once we finally realized, oh, the big green trash cans, let's just bring that in the house and we'll fill that up and then wheel that thing out. Then our trash situation got better.
Yeah, that's a good plan. You should just set up a crocodile mile, dude. Fucking slide your trash out the door.
Ramon, why are you never here? You pay rent. Oh, is it the trash room?
Oh, is it because of the trash room? Are you too good for the trash room? Are you too good to live in our filth?
You bougie fuck.
For the record, I would have been too good to live in your filth.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I don't know. It would have been nice to have someone to have one Final Fantasy 11 account that's played on 24 hours a day.
That's true.
Pretty
the
good trade-off.
computer in the living room, just constant Final Fantasy 11.
Pretty good trade-off.
Because I remember the only person who could run it was Josh, but he had to format his computer in order to be able to install it and run it. So it was just a Final Fantasy 11 machine.
Josh should have set up quarters, like a quarter slot. You got to put shit in. Enterprising Josh is fun to think about, like like to the lowest level. You know what I mean? Like where it's like quarters. I wanted to think about Josh running like a small Reno casino or something like that. I like that.
I mean, Miller kind of did that with our hobo roommate. Like, hey man, can I have a cigarette? Farm me 3 stacks of crawler silk, right. And that cigarette's yours. Yeah. Damn it! All right.
Yeah, I mean, all right. I like that. The next time someone asks me for change, I'm going to ask them at the farm crawler silk for me. All right, here's my username and password. You're going to need to download this game, install it, and come back to me. I'll give you the change.
Promise.
I'll be here.
So, what have you been up to this week?
Playing a lot of Suikoden, my dude. Like a lot of it.
Yeah.
I crammed a lot of Suikoden into a weekend. Yeah. So I'm still recovering from that.
Because 3 parts that's the only thing we've done in 3 parts was like Phantasy Star 4. Was that also 3 parts?
I don't know that we've done another 3-parter.
Because I think that's the only other one. So
did we take 3 on Phantasy Star?
I think it was 3 on Phantasy Star.
I don't know. Spoiler: Suikoden's better than Phantasy Star 2 or 4, whichever one.
Wow, that's pretty high praise though.
I mean, yeah, look, Phantasy Star 2 is whatever.
Okay, yeah, it's better than Phantasy Star 2.
Phantasy Star 4 I thought was really good.
Phantasy Star 4 was a good game.
I think Suikoden's better. Yeah.
All right. That makes me feel better.
Oh yeah, no, it's better for sure. It's the thing that's tough for me with Suikoden. We kind of talked about this before we started recording the show. Mm-hmm. The thing for me about Suikoden is I first of all didn't want to play it.
Yeah, that's what. Whenever like they're talking about this Paperboy challenge, you're just like, oh man, fuck.
I'm so far down the rabbit hole of Paperboy because it's like I am chasing that high score, and it is like because Stephen Michael of Facebook, he runs a Facebook group which is like 1 member smaller than ours, so don't go rushing out to join it. Just kidding, you should. It's an amazing group. The game of the month that we're playing for a high score is Paperboy. And man, if you've listened to our Paperboy episode, which I think that you should listen to that, you know that I love Paperboy, and I've got like a weird, deep connection to that game because and I said this in the episode, but I'll repeat myself for the sake of this intro. My dad didn't like video games that much, and we didn't play a lot of video games together, but Paperboy is one of the video games that we did play together. And I remember him talking to me about how he was a Paperboy when he was a kid.
Wow.
And so take that, and then also we moved around a lot when I was a kid. Like, and not in the same town.
A lot, yeah.
We moved from like a different state. Yeah, like once every 2 or 3 years. And the worst thing ever about that is when you move at the beginning of summer or the very end of the school year, because you wind up in a completely different state with absolutely no friends, like none. And it's like, enjoy your summer by yourself.
Yep.
I hope there are kids in your neighborhood, because if they're not, you're going to be really lonely. Mm-hmm. So one summer I spent entirely, I remember 2 things about this summer. Watching Supermarket Sweep with my mom every day and playing Paperboy in the attic. And I played a lot of Paperboy. Never, ever, ever was like, let me see how high a score I can get. It was more like, let me see if I can get through this game. Is there something after Sunday? Does it repeat or does it end?
Oh yeah, I never cared. As a kid, I never cared about scores. I wanted to beat the game.
Right, exactly.
So that's why like older arcade games are my thing, because I like to beat
to beat a game, right. Yep. And you can't beat an arcade game for the most part. You can only beat somebody's score. So I never score chased in Paperboy until this challenge. And hey, it turns out a lot of that paperboy playing has paid off because it's like, oh, score chasing is easy. It's just like playing the game. It's just you play it differently.
Yeah.
So that's been fun too because it's like it's still the same game with the same rules, but it's like, but now I'm playing it with a different purpose. I'm like playing more aggressive because it's like it's all about score, not surviving.
Survival. Yeah.
So I recorded the last attempt that I did. This because of this paperboy high score chase, dude. Like I have gone to lengths that I never thought that I would go to. I want to submit my scores to Twin Galaxies, and because of that, I need to play on original hardware. But I also need to capture that gameplay. So I have a few options. I can record it to VHS tape if I want to, which is a viable option. But I figured I stream anyway.
Yeah. Plus, you're good. So, show it off.
Yeah, it's different than, if I were really bad.
Something still seems scummy about sending in VHS
I know it does a little bit. But, like, I don't know, scummy in almost a good way. Like, I could see the appeal where it's like, yeah, it'd be sweet to play this on a CRT TV and, like, record it on a VHS tape. And just pretend like
imagine Bob Saget doing voiceovers of all the people on the screen.
Yeah, just pretend like I'm in Eastern Bloc,
hey,
you know?
Give me your paper. Go now.
So, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. Currently, my score is 208,550, which would put me about 4th place on Twin Galaxies.
Fuck yeah.
The high score is like very, very high. Like it's like 290 something, I think.
Oh, you're not that far.
It's pretty far. It's pretty far. But the thing is, it's fun to do. And it's one of those things where it feels therapeutic because it's like a lot of it now is just muscle memory and then trying to figure out little bits where it's like, oh, I could eke out a little bit, a few more points here and there. That's the fun part of it. So anyway, I streamed that attempt where I got my new personal best high score. And I know I talked about this on the last episode too, but God, it has really, really been a lot of fun. Like it's so rare. It's been a long time.
It's rare that I have a good time anymore.
I mean, that is true. That is not a lie, but it's so rare when it's like, all right, sex is an option, but there is Paperboy to be played. So like it's that level. Like it's that level where it's like, because last night, sorry, sweetheart, it was like I heard Nikki taking a shower, and it's like, I know what this is about. We communicated a little bit beforehand, and it's like, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I feel like I could get a higher score than this. So I guess
you want to have sex? Clean your ass. I'm gonna play Paperboy.
Right? I do. Look, man, if I'm going to have good sex, like really good sex, it involves 2 clean bodies. Like it really does. It involves 2 clean bodies.
You don't like running that UTI risk? Just dirty butts having sex?
It's not even about that. It's just like, I don't know, man. There's something about like desecrating the cleanness that is that is fun. Where it's
cum sticks much better to a clean body.
It does, as it turns out. It does. Yeah, it does. That has something to do with it. So don't worry, I had sex. I stopped playing Paperboy. I'm not broken.
But there was a thought for a second.
Oh yeah, there definitely was. And like, because I heard the shower stop, and then I was like, all right, I got time for one more run. And that turned into 3 more runs. And then it was like, she might be asleep. Should I check, or should I just go ahead? Should I just go ahead and assume that she's asleep? And then I stopped.
Okay.
And she was almost asleep, barely made it, squeaked in.
Squeaked in to that clean vagina.
That's right, yeah.
So does the obstacle course count toward the points that you need?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Okay, so it's really important.
It's a huge part of it. Because each of those, I can get as deep into this as you want. Each of those little blocks in the obstacle course gives you 200 points. The loops give you 100 points. And when you cross the finish line of the obstacle course, it takes whatever the time is at the bottom and multiplies it by 100. So usually, it's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like when I crash on the obstacle course, which does happen still from time to time.
Like that runs over.
It's pretty much, I can go ahead and finish this run not knowing that it's not going to beat my high score, or I just can reset.
Yeah.
And it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, man, I've been super, super into it. Like really, really, really into it.
Yeah, which, I mean, good. I'm glad you're having a good time. But whenever I saw that, I was like, oh, now Suikoden really becomes an obligation, and no one enjoys an obligation.
Yeah, it did. It 100% became an obligation. Like the kind of obligation where it's like, well, I got to hunker down and finish this game as fast as I fucking possibly can so I can go on with the thing that I would rather do.
Yeah.
Pausing Suikoden for sex, no problem. not a problem. And it's just because, I don't know, like, I don't want to bash Suikoden. I think it's a really good game. Like, I enjoyed it, and it's like, I can see the really good parts of Suikoden, but it's really tough when there's other things that I'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
And I hate, like, it's impossible for me to stay completely, or try to be objective about it, because it's like, it's tough because things bleed in, where it's like, okay, the other thing, the reality of it is, I didn't want this to be a 4-parter. Yeah. It's like, I feel like we're stretching the limits of the
3 parts for a single game is like, that is probably as far as we need to take it.
So it's like, and I don't want to, I want to be able to talk to you about this game in its entirety. I don't want to get halfway through and be like, I give up, because I tell you, if I stopped playing this halfway through and then we did this last episode on Suikoden, I would never finish Suikoden.
Yeah.
Like, I'm afraid of that, because it's like, what would happen is, this happens in RPGs. It's the same with books for me. If I don't finish a book while it's fresh in my mind, I feel like I have to start over. And starting over, RPGs are long, and something can kind of get, if something distracts me on that path, I'm kind of fucked.
No, our playstyle definitely has to change post marriage and kids. Like, it just That's why, like, we were talking earlier about like guides and stuff. I have no problem when I'm playing through Skyrim. Like, if I'm in a pillar puzzle, like, I could read all these books, I could read hints, I could look around for clues. I know they're all there, but I'm going to save myself 30, 40 minutes of frustration and get 30, 40 minutes of playing the game, like the enjoyable part of the game.
Yeah.
Then. And I don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like it's like a 300 plus hour game anyway. So let's trim down, which I know. And so there's definitely like trim down some of the padding of running around and trying to figure out what you have to recruit these characters in this time frame. Because one thing like that is bad, that is frustrating. And you said that it was frustrating for you worrying about, did I miss something?
Constantly.
Did I pass a guy and I can't turn around and now he's gone? Like,
constantly.
And Suikoden does have that about it. Like, that's why I've never gotten a perfect record on it, because it is very bad about missables, can't turn back.
It's just unforgiving in that regard.
Yep.
But we talked about this a little bit earlier too, so let's rehash this conversation. I will give Suikoden credit, because it's one of those games where it's an RPG, but it's not a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hour RPG.
Yeah.
People say it's a 20-hour RPG. It took me 30 hours. But I was also meticulously asking people if I missed something. I started using a guide as well, because it's like, when I started using a guide, I became so much less worried about missing something, and I was able to enjoy the game more. But because I was using a guide, I was constantly checking that guide, which meant that it probably took me longer, because I'm reading a section and then playing a section. But so I don't know.
I can't start Suikoden without immediately worrying about missing the window to recruit Leon Silverberg.
At the end of the game, which is a thing that happens very, very late in the game. Because the window is very, very small.
Very small.
Very small.
And that's when, like, because I was telling you before, because like the first time I did it, I happened to hit that window completely by accident and got Leon, but I missed Mace. So whenever
Final blacksmith.
Yeah, the final blacksmith.
Mace Windu.
Because
he makes you lightsabers.
But yeah, they're only purple. So,
right? Yeah. We call them grape.
But mace you can miss just because you have to have 5 blacksmiths in your party. You have to have all the others to recruit him.
Right.
So that's also not as big of a window, but a lot of times you'll have like one character who has to stay with you. And if you have one character into your party, you can't get mace.
Right.
So my first playthrough, I missed him. I was super pissed off. I waited a while. Once I cooled down, I was like, nope, this time, get that perfect record. I'll be able to go faster. Blaze through the game. Missed Leon, missed that window. I feel like I was constantly checking, trying to figure out, talking to Matthew, when can I go? When can I go? Then I just coincidentally just missed it just by making one little error, and that whole 20 hours just shot.
Yeah.
And I never went back after that.
But with that being said, that does suck for sure. But I want to give Suikoden credit because it is a short RPG that I feel like it can do that.
Yeah, it has a lot of niceties that make it not a drag to play through.
Sure.
Battles are fast.
Sure.
Yeah. Other than the inventory system, but like, yeah, it is made, and going A to B, reducing the encounter, the random encounters, like you can play through it pretty quickly if you know what you're doing.
The other thing is I was constantly upgrading my equipment, constantly. And I do feel like that I feel like I could have gotten by without doing that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the game is just, like, I'm not knocking it, but I don't know if the game is just easy or if it was the fact that I was meticulously keeping my gear in check that made it feel easy.
Yeah,
like,
it's not super difficult. It's not.
Okay. So if I were to play it again, which I won't, I would.
You got the good record. You made it in time to get the surprise.
I did get the surprise. I recruited all 108, but let me say this, and this is a credit to the game. By the time I finished it, there is a battle after you recruit all 108. There's a battle that happens.
Your final war. Yeah.
Never had I had a character die in a war until after I got all 108. Sheena died in battle, and I seriously considered, well, maybe I'll just reload that save up and try it again and have her not die. Because it sucks to have, like, it's like, we did it! We got all 108! And then, like, within the next 5 minutes, Sheena's dead. Oh, well, fuck. I guess we got 107.
Well, see, the only person who ever died for me is Eileen. Like, so the LaPant family are just fucking...
They're cursed.
Just glass. Like,
right? But the other thing is, when I thought about loading my save and playing through when I fight the final boss, because bribe is still an option. And I was like, when I was streaming it, I was like,
Three-headed sovereign rune. Here's some bits.
Right, here's all of
just
my bits.
Go.
Don't worry. I gambled for a lot. I have maxed out money. You can have it if you'll just go away.
Marco's fucking broke, bro.
See, okay. Marco, he's the cup game guy. That's not where I earned my money. I earned my money from Gustavo.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Gustavo. Yeah.
The dice game, because that goes so much faster.
Yeah.
Like so much faster. And he loses a lot too. And it's one of those where it's like press your luck, because if you keep letting it ride, your winnings are better and better and better. And this goes back to what you were saying about being mindful of your time. I can't say that I finished this game legitimately because I 100% use save stating for the purposes of gambling and getting money quickly, because it's one of those.
Yeah, you could grind it out. You could gamble, but why not just save state, save yourself the time.
I could do it in 40 minutes or I could do it in 5 minutes. The outcome is going to be the same. The only issue I have with that is I feel like it's tough to talk about the padding in the game if I do that. But I assure you, I did it a whole bunch before I save stated as well. And it's grinding. It's what you would expect it to be. It's grinding. And
I feel like once you get mace, getting those last few levels on your weapons, fucking expensive.
Very expensive, yes. And I could have done it legitimately. It would have essentially been the same process. It would have taken longer. It would have involved saving at Marie and then walking 20 steps and then playing the game again until I feel like I've done a good job, and then save, and then walk back.
Yeah.
And if I lose, reload. So I don't know. It just cuts out a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that time.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
The only I don't know. The only thing wrong with it is like I feel like when I am talking about a game and whether or not I'm going to recommend it to somebody or not, I feel like I need to play it as it was intended to play. That's my only qualm. That's my only qualm with it.
So we're going to hit spoilers about the ending and the twist and all that?
Let's talk about all of it, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, right?
So spoilers, everyone. Spoilers. So I'll let you know. We'll talk about all the way to the end. Spoilers, baby.
Do you want to, before we do spoilers, do we want to talk about whether or not we recommend the game?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I love Suikoden. Yeah, it certainly has its flaws. It's an early game for Konami that in a area they don't normally tread. I love Suikoden. I feel like I recommend Suikoden with the intention of moving on to Suikoden 2. Because I think Suikoden 2 is one of the most ideal RPGs out there. Like, I adore Suikoden 2. Suikoden 1, very good, but you really, to fully appreciate Suikoden 2, you have to play Suikoden 1. So, highly recommend for anybody, especially recommend if you want to play through and keep going, because Suikoden 2 is worth it. However much, if you don't love Suikoden 1, but you like RPGs, if you like Suikoden 1, just get through it for Suikoden 2.
I think if you love RPGs and you haven't played Suikoden yet, which is probably a very thin slice of a Venn diagram, but if you love RPGs and you haven't played Suikoden, you need to play Suikoden. It is a good RPG. My relationship with RPGs has changed drastically.
Yeah, I feel like you like a quick actiony arcade experience now, as opposed to like you needed a time sink when you were a kid.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why I loved RPGs. When I was in middle school and high school, it's like, well, I got a whole bunch of time. I don't have a job, so I guess this will be my job. I guess I'll just play Final Fantasy VI the fourth time, and it's fine. It's fun. But I don't know, man. The older I get, the more I want a quicker experience. I want something that I can experience, enjoy, and then move on to a different experience. Yep. So, but with that being said, I still think that Suikoden's a good game. I still recommend it. If you like RPGs, I really honestly don't think that someone who doesn't like RPGs, there are other RPGs for you to cut your teeth on. I don't think Suikoden is a good one to cut your teeth on.
I'm with you.
Because it is unforgiving in the things that you can miss. If you're a completionist, like if it's really important for you to get everything in a game, it's either going to be really good for you or really bad for you.
Because there are a few characters in Suikoden that are just like, fuck, how do you get some of these characters without knowing ahead of time? So there's our recommendations. Yeah. Spoilers time. Okay. All right. The hard ones to find. Well, I mean, there's that one ninja who's just hiding on the wall before the warriors' village. Fuma. Yep. I didn't think Fuma was that hard to find. No. Because I had to know he was there. I didn't find him naturally until Shake was like, oh yeah, there's a ninja there. Did you walk up there? Is that like, or did you not walk up there? Is that why you missed him? I might have not walked up there. That might have been it. Because he is bright red. And it's like my style. And another reason it takes me for fucking ever to get through RPGs is this is my style. I know I need to go through that door, but there might be something hidden down this alley. And then I'll get to a branching path and I'll be like, well, I still know I need to go through that door I passed, but I need to go left, exhaust that possibility, come back to this intersection, go right, exhaust that possibility, and then I'll go back to the door. And it's like in Skyrim where I see like, oh, that's the door I'm supposed to go to. So I'm not going to go there in these dwarven ruins. Why would I go the way I'm supposed to go? Yeah. I might miss something. And Fuma's like one of those that you might miss. Because like I was kind of expecting, I remember you told me, you're like, there's a ninja who is hiding. And unless you're looking for him, you're not going to find him. But I think that I probably just like, I walked over there. Who's that executioner? Okay, that's funny. Well, I got that guy and I moved on. Well, see, they're in different locations. Oh, they are? Yes. Okay, I'm not remembering it right then. And that's what confused me because I spent a long time in the graveyard looking for the hidden guy. Sorry. Because you had told me there's a graveyard, and in that graveyard, I misremembered that completely. It's an executioner and a really well-hidden ninja. And because you said he was really well-hidden, it's like, I'm checking behind every fucking... And I was like, I got to the point where I was like,
did Tyler troll me? And then I pulled up the guide and I was like, I don't see any mention of a ninja. So either this guide is bad.
No, your friend is.
Fuma is, I believe he's hiding. I might be mistaken, but I believe he is hiding at the Dragon Knight's fortress.
Oh, okay.
He's back behind the back corner of their fortress.
Which I'm so sad. The one thing I really hated that Suikoden didn't do is let Joshua be a playable character. Let him be in your party.
The holder of the dragon rune?
Yeah.
The leader of the Dragon Knights?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Joshua, the one insane. Can you never play as him, even in other Suikoden games?
I don't think so.
That is a bummer. But he's got his own thing going on. You know what I mean?
I got the fucking soul leader.
Yeah, but he's got his own thing. Look, dude, he has a dragon rune.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? And he uses that to help you out.
He does. He's very nice. I think that's why I wanted to use him, because I really like Joshua.
Yeah,
so
I liked him too. Yeah, he's really cool. He gives you a whole bunch of dragon knights to join your army.
And he's got a specialty attack when you use him. All the dragons, bombard the...
Right, during the wars.
So... Later on, once you had a more full roster, how did you feel about the wars?
Very
did that change
easy.
it for you?
They're very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that they reward you for recruiting characters because that is the biggest reward. Is when you get all the ninjas.
Ninjas are essential for a good war.
You know what the enemy's going to do 3 times.
Yep.
And it's for a lot of those wars, that's all you need. If you know what they're doing 3 times and you know how to counter those 3 attacks they're going to do, even if you fuck up.
Yeah, if you can boost your attack and charge in, and you've got the right characters, and
you've made
once you get Crowley, and then your magic attack is going to nuke the shit out of whoever.
Crowley, I never would have found.
One. He's another one that's just
never would have found him. And that's coming, and that's the kind that frustrates me the most, because what I just said, I'm the guy who says, I'm not going to go the way I'm supposed to go. I'm going to check the nooks and crannies. Crowley is in a very, very...
In the nookiest of all crannies.
He is in the nookiest of all crannies. No shit. Because it's he's behind a hidden wall that has no... here's the irony of this fucking wall. This is how troll this wall is. It has some notches in it. It's this southern wall. It has notches in it that look oh, this might be a secret passage. This might be a secret passage. And I'm not shitting you, dude. I rubbed up in those crannies trying to see if there were secret passages. His fucking secret passage, there's no indication that there's anything there. And it's God damn it. Fuck you, Konami.
Because I feel if you were to find Crowley, it would have to be if your TV was turned the brightness was turned up too high in Final Fantasy IV, and you could see the tunnels and shit like that. You'd have to see where the black is a little off colored.
I do wish that there was a mechanic in the game. It could be even anything. Even if they wanted to go old school D&D, if there's an elf in your party, you have a chance of seeing secret passages, or you will see secret passages. If I were making an RPG for people like me, my age with responsibilities and stuff, that's the kind of quality of life stuff I would put in the game, where it's you can control this. Do you want to be able to see secret passages? If you do, put this person in your party. If you don't,
and for Suikoden, that is kind of a no-brainer. That would be a very, shit. Do you want to walk fast? There's a character for that.
Right. Right, exactly. Or even a rune. You could I don't know, be able to see hidden stuff. I guess the argument to that would be, yeah, but everything in this game is pretty easy to find except for that one passage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And of course, I do his whenever you use him or whatever in a war,
Crowley.
and he's by the 100 runes within me, and then super nuke.
But I like that.
Because I think he has the highest magic score in Suikoden.
According to that guide, he does. And he comes with the Cyclone rune, which is really a nice rune because it has a healing spell, a party-wide healing spell, Healing Wind. And I think that's party-wide. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's single target. But he has that and some massive destruction spells, too. That's a thing with
he has the upgrade to Luke's Wind rune.
Right.
Wind and Cyclone.
Right.
And,
okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that Cyclone was the upgrade to Wind. But it's...
Because it basically drops off the Wind rune's weakest ability and gives the one more stronger.
Okay. It's really nice because a lot of the runes in the game for magic spells are very one-sided, I feel like. It's like this is an offensive magic rune, this is a restorative rune.
Yep.
And I don't feel like those things kind of meet a lot.
Yeah, fire blow up, earth protect, water heals you, that's it.
Right. But like that cyclone rune is nice because it's like, here's a little bit of restorative there for you, buddy. But Crowley, you were talking about using him in wars. What fucking cracks me up is, yes, he's this like demonic looking Mr. Crowley, presumably. This like demonologist who does say like, what does he say?
By the 100 runes within me.
Right. And it's all like, yeah, you read it, it's badass. You know how in the wars they group similar characters together? Do you remember what group he's in?
I don't.
Children of the Runes. So you got this old ass demonologist saying that shit right next to two kids, two kid mages. I can't.
Who's that? Luke and
the redheaded girl who looks like she's eating something. I can't remember her name because I never fucking used her.
Yeah.
Like many characters in the game, because it's like they're great to have in a war.
I'm jumping way ahead of myself, but who was your final party?
My final party was, I should be able to remember this. My final party was, okay, I'm pretty sure Tyr McDole was in there. Crowley was in there with the Cyclone rune. I had, I believe, Victor, Flick, and Tengar.
Okay. Tengar has a surprisingly high magic score, too.
Yeah, I liked Tengar. She was really cool. I used her.
She's in Suikoden, too?
I used her as my healer. I had the flowing rune on her. God damn, that flowing rune.
Yep.
Oh my God. Like, I remember okay, so they're all healing spells and they're all party-wide heals, which is like, okay, I wish I could have like a spot heal for one character here and there. And that's why I remembered that healing wind.
Rune. Okay.
Crowley could do that if he needed to, which was always a bummer because it's like, I would rather have Crowley blowing shit up, but Victor is about to die, so let's go ahead and take care of him. But man, that flowing rune is fucking amazing. I remember the first time I used the most powerful spell on that rune, which I think is called Mother Ocean. And it's like, I shouldn't say the first time I used it. I had been using it in battles, in boss battles. And it's like, man, this is such a big heal for everybody in the group. And then I remember the first time I used it when someone was KO'd in the party, and I was like, "Oh shit! It brings them back. Not only does it heal everybody, it revives characters." And it's like, yes, Tim. And the other reason is like, dude, it's so silly, but it's like once Tengar had the flowing rune on her, it was just very much like, "Yep, that's her rune. I'll never remove it from." The number of times I put a rune on somebody and then like just decided I didn't like the rune, I was like, not using that character anymore. I could.
You have that option. There's so many characters.
I could switch the rune out, but fuck it.
Gotta go back to Jean. Gotta take it off, put it back on.
It's a hassle.
Worry about the duck.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, don't want to anger the fucking duck.
Which Jean and Vicky are both in every Suikoden.
I was on the Suikoden Wikia. Man, they really like Jean. They get very fan servicey with Jean.
Yep. And she's one of the big enigmas of the game. Why that she is ageless and apparently knows she'll slip up, like people think she might be a true rune that has human form, because like true runes can take on different forms, a la the Star Dragon Sword.
Yeah, which you run across. Okay, wait. The Star Dragon Sword, refresh me, is that the sword that Clive gets to defeat Necklord, or is that the sword that Barbarossa has?
Barbarossa has, let's see, because I know, because it's weird, because it's like the Star Dragon Sword, and then it will upgrade to like the Dragon King Sword or something like that. That's what Victor has. But then I feel like it was bad translation that it's like the King Dragon Sword is what Barbarossa has.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It confused the fuck out of me because like he said it and I was like, did he steal my sword? Or I don't understand. I don't understand really what's going on. I love Clive's sword because like that whole like okay.
Clive?
Oh, not Clive. I'm sorry. Victor.
Okay.
Victor's. I don't know why I associate I think the reason I'm associating Clive with Victor is because
Jacob's Clive is very much like Victor.
No, well, it is because of Jacob. When I streamed my first session of Suikoden, Jacob was gushing about how much he likes Victor. And Jacob played a character in your game called Clive. And because of that, they kind of like a bond in my memory was, you know what I mean? Like in my synapses was made.
Yep.
And it's like now Clive and Victor are kind of the same character.
Yep. But then there's that other character named Clive that has a gun.
Right. There is, yeah.
The other throwaway character who's much bigger in Suikoden 2 than 1. But
anyway, that whole thing with Clive, like I really like the fact Victor, God damn it. I'm done. It's probably time I leave.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
It's probably time I leave and go play Paperboy, I think. We can all agree on that, probably.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Victor, I like the fact that they like gave him this story where it's like he hates Necklord, and he hates Necklord because Necklord killed his family. And it's like he even says, like, there's a gruesome detail that I think is really necessary where like Victor mentions like seeing his family eat each other essentially because Necklord's raised them, you know, and as in the form of undead. And it's like I remember that line because I remember being like, oh shit, like they kind of went to a place I didn't expect them to go to. Because
I feel like because Necklord, the whole southern territory of the country is being terrorized by Necklord, this vampire lord who has this massive castle, demands sacrifices, like whole big thing. And everyone's been trying to take him down, and no one can do it. And he's incredibly powerful.
And he's not a true vampire.
Yeah,
is also the thing.
Yeah.
He's got a rune, essentially. I can't remember the name of the rune, but he even says, like, when someone's like, because you see, and I thought this was...
It's like, is it the Night Rune?
Or
is the Night Rune... The Night Rune is what the Star Dragon sword is.
Dude,
I think.
Homie,
I forget what it is.
You asking the wrong guy. When you one of the first times you see Necklord, like he's built up and built up and built up. I remember being so disappointed because like he shows up and it is daylight. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? Konami, like, you know vampires. I know you know vampires. What are you doing? And then he like, as part of exposition is like, oh, I'm not a real vampire. It's this rune I've got that makes me kind of a vampire. And it's like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, because that's the curse of that rune is that it turns you into sort of a vampire where you're immortal, but you also, it takes centuries to control the bloodlust and get that rune under control once you come in possession of it. Because Necklord stole it from
or as we like to call him,
an older vampire.
Necklord.
Necklord.
I feel better saying Necklord. Necklord is like
Necklord for vampire is
the worst. I wonder what it is in Japan, right? Like was that a localization thing?
I hope so. I hope it was just, or it could have been like the way like all the Dragon Ball Z characters are named after fruits and vegetables. Like, oh, of course a vampire would be named Necklord. So
potentially. It's just disappointing because it's like, I even on the way here, because it's Konami and because Necklord is a vampire in a Konami game, I was like, I really was obsessing. Like, it can't be as simple as Necromancer Lord. Like, there's no way. There's no fucking way that they would do that. And I'm driving over here and I'm like, what's Necklord backwards? Because they did it with Alucard. Then I'm like, Droll?
I believe it's the moon rune is what he has.
Okay. Drollkin? Never mind. That's probably not a thing. Or Dr. Olkin? Dr. Olkin.
And then I thought it was very cool when you get that, like, centuries in the past, whenever you see, like, Ted getting the Soul Eater being pursued by Necklord and Wendy.
Yes. I
know we're all over the place, but I'm ready to talk about the meat of the game.
Well, we said spoilers, so I'm assuming pretty much everyone listening
has played the game.
And I hope that they enjoy us gushing about our favorite parts.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite part in this game, and I have a suggestion that I think would make this game better. My favorite part in the game is when you Leknot, the Wendy's sister, who helps you in the beginning of the game, when she appears.
Got that backdoor rune.
She does have that backdoor rune. Yeah, I made a lot of choice jokes about the back and front door runes. There's a part where the Soul Eater is kind of explained to you, and it's like it's explained that, and it kind of dawned on me that the Soul Eater has like taken the souls of the people who are closest to Tyr, because it's taken. There's this scene where you see like everything's black, and you see Tyr, and then 4 people appear around him, and I can only name 2 of them. Tio, his dad, who in another one of my favorite scenes, which we'll get to, Tyr kills Tio. And then you see Gremio. And Gremio died very close to Tyr as well.
Oh, that enraged me as a kid. Fuck, that enraged me how Gremio died.
Me too. I want to get to that as well, because I think I hope it's a translation thing, because that whole thing did not make fucking sense. But it was really nice seeing that's like, okay, so these are the souls that are inside the Soul Eater since Tyr has been wearing it. And when you collect all 108, when you recruit all 108 stars, it allows Leknot to revive one of the souls in the Soul Eater, and that is Gremio, which is a huge moment. And I really enjoyed that. But it got me thinking, how cool would it be if you get to choose which soul from the Soul Eater comes back? And then it changes the ending of the game. And by the ending of the game, I don't mean because if you don't collect all 108 and you don't get Gremio, it changes an insignificant amount of the ending.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
It changes a cutscene at the end of the game. And also, I'm sorry, Gremio, I didn't include you in my final party.
No, Gremio. I like Gremio's character. Gremio in battle fucking sucks. So,
but Gremio was in my party like pretty much all the time until he died.
Yeah, it was because Gremio. Yeah, Gremio was basically the one person you can never get rid of. Like,
yeah, that is true. I didn't have a lot of options. But anyway, when Gremio dies, you're saying that enraged you.
Because of course you find out like when you K-Wanda Rossman talks about a black rune that Wendy gave him burning his arm. He seems like confused, and you can recruit him, and then you go to the next place. Like, so you figure, okay, this one's probably being controlled. Milich Oppenheimer. I think who's
the Lude rune. Or the Loon Star. I'm sorry, the Lude Star.
That's which one he is.
The lewd star. And I was disappointed because I was like, why is Kimberly not the lewd star? Because she's the one who always wants to fuck. Like, she wants to fuck Taiho so bad because she's a fisherman apparently. And she's a
dock hoe.
I'm so sorry to I'm so sorry to derail this, but Kimberly is a forger who cannot read, who also is a fisherman who loves to fuck. Like, there's a scene
so he got deaf.
Right.
That does sound like a D&D character. That's like somebody who doesn't care about what story you're trying to weave. They're just going to make a fun character.
Right. It does. But there's a scene like before the big battle at the end where like there's these cut scenes where the characters are interacting, which I think is really neat. One of my favorite parts of Suikoden is seeing characters interact with one another because there's so many characters. There needs to be more of that in the game. Like, seriously, there needs to be more of that. Like, even as you're going through a dungeon, it would be nice to be like, okay, because you have these people in your party, here's a neat little cutscene that you're not going to get unless you have these people in your party. And there is a little bit of that. Like, if you have someone in your party, when you interact with like an NPC, if they're in your party, you'll have a little tiny cutscene, which is cool. Other games have done that, and I love it. Like, I love it when games do that. But anyway, tangent of a tangent. Dude, Kimberly is like in her little cutscene. She's with the 2 other fishermen, and she is straight up like, "Oh, we might die tomorrow," and like it is like very much like. She asked the other fisherman, Kamlu, is that his name? Yamku, thank you. Why don't you leave the 2 of us alone? And Yamku is like, oh, I know Taiho doesn't want to fuck her, so I'm going to stay here with him. Because she says something like 3's a crowd. And like you see Yamku like, oh, I know he doesn't want to fuck her, so I'm going to stay here. That's like one of my favorite cutscenes. But anyway,
get that hoe just like, why do you think I hang out with this hut? My friend and I just wear robes.
Right?
Like, I'm not into it, lady.
Right. I still think that Taiho is, I think a fun game to play would be pull all the portraits of all 108 stars and cast the movie, because I think Matt LeBlanc is Taiho, like 1000%.
Shit. Now I want to do that for a Patreon.
Oh, I would love to do that. Dude, we can set that
up. That's the Suikoden movie.
Yes. William H. Macy as Hugo, the librarian. Like, I mean, every time I saw a character's portrait, I was like, oh, who would I cast as this?
It's pretty good.
It's a fun game. It was like a mini game while I was playing Suikoden. So anyway.
But Milich Oppenheimer is the worst of the generals. And like, he's growing all these demonic plants that he's terrorizing his quadrant of. Because each of the legendary generals each have... It's like the wardens of the North and the West and stuff like that in Game of Thrones. They each have their own section that they rule of and point and go to the king. So, but Milich has been growing all these plants that he's using to control people. If I remember, the big thing is he has this essentially flesh-eating fungus, flesh-eating bacteria.
Some spore.
Yeah. And there's something in a room that you have to get to, but you have to cross through...
There's a room and there's a lever in a room that controls a door, and you have to use it to get into the dungeon to do the thing you're doing.
Yep.
And then when you're leaving the dungeon, Milich confronts you.
Yeah. So you basically don't have it essentially makes it where you have no time. You have to go pull this lever, but you have to sacrifice somebody in order to do it because they're just not going to survive. Well, Gremio throws himself on that grenade.
Yeah.
So you just see him basically push Tyr aside, run into the room, pull the lever, and then by the time the door opens, because all the spores are cleared out because they've all eaten Gremio and died.
Yeah.
Then you walk into that room and you just find Gremio's cape and axe, and that's it.
He dies like Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Just his cape and Obi-Wan's axe. Obi-Wan's famous axe.
Yep.
And here's what I didn't like. So that made you mad, the fact that Gremio died.
Yeah.
This is what made me mad. Moments after Gremio dies, Matthew shows up and opens the door.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
So Gremio died for absolutely
no reason.
No reason. We all could have just gone in this hallway, and then Matthew would have shown up and then opened the door and everything would have been fine, I guess. Unless the spores... I just feel like they needed a little bit more information. Konami needed to give a little bit more information to the player to be like, because it didn't make any sense. It's like, okay.
Maybe it's like in The Dark Knight whenever Batman it's daylight, goes to the tunnel, other side it's night. Hopefully you just don't notice, right? And this is good for the plot.
That was 100% what it was, but I'm sitting here playing the game like, I noticed that, and I feel like it's undercutting the emotional weight of this scene.
I mean, have Matthew teleport in there with Vicky. That would have worked. That would have been fine.
That is true, too. But it's like, I get it, like, they figure they're going to die in there. Like, if they close the door, and they're just trapped behind that door forever. Mm-hmm. But it didn't make sense to me because it's like, you got to use the lever to open the door. How is Gremio planning on doing that if he fucking dies out there? You're still in the same fucking situation. Like, Gremio, you didn't have to, you're just dumb, dude.
A little bit.
Because that bothered me a lot because it's like, it sucked all of the emotional gravity out of that.
I see that.
Because it was like,
this is a big point in the game.
Yeah. And it's like, I just feel like, as far as like narratively, I don't think it was handled well. Like, I mean, the fact that I feel like Gremio dies for no reason because it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. No one would be able to open the door. And then literally 3 seconds after he dies, Matthew shows up and opens the door. And it's like, what? Like, it would have been...
There's like a knob on it. Did you guys not...
It's like the Far Side comic.
I'm very smart. That's why I'm the strategist.
It's like the Far Side comic with the dude pushing on the pull door. Yeah, that's essentially the scene where Gremio dies. Like, I need to rip that comic and then like upload it with the name Gremio dies, just so if someone happens to do a Google image search of Gremio dies, that pulls up. And I'll Photoshop Gremio's cape and his axe next to the guy who's pushing on the pull door.
But it was so hard for me not to kill Milich. That was like the only one that I just, it was really hard.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It was difficult to spare Milich.
Even afterward, the black rune melts off his hand, and he's still just like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, Milich is kind of an asshole to begin with. Yeah,
like I don't think the black rune had to twist it that much for him.
Yeah,
but
you got to save him so you can recruit him.
Yeah, the big thing, because I remember I told you keep pawn leveled up.
Yes,
keep on pawn. Pawn. That being because he has to do a one-on-one duel with a full health T.O. McDowell.
Yep, Tyr's dad.
Yep,
who Pawn used to be loyal to.
Yeah,
Pawn essentially betrays your party early in the game because of his loyalty. I don't think to the Emperor, to T.O.
Yep,
the general. I love one of my favorite things in the game is the fact that they explore the relationship between a father and a son who have opposing political loyalties and viewpoints. Like that is, you don't see that a lot in RPGs, period, and of that era especially. And I think that's really nice. And like there is a scene where inevitably you face off against T.O. as Tyr, and you win. And the whole scene is like leading up to the battle is wonderful because T.O. is essentially saying, I'm not backing down. I'm loyal to the Emperor. This is where I stand. And Tyr is in the same boat. T.O. asks him to knock it off, essentially, and Tyr refuses. And what's really beautiful about it is like after the battle, T.O. like respects that decision that his son made, and like as he's dying, says that he's proud of Tyr for sticking to his convictions, and it's like wow, that's like I didn't cry, but it's like one of those where it's like that did hit me emotionally, where it's like that was really well done, and then it's like T.O.'s lapdogs, his left and right hand man are like essentially like let us finish this, and he's like no, I want you to join them because my son stands with his convictions, and his soldiers were loyal to T.O. and not necessarily the Emperor.
Yeah, I mean because further coming onto it, because this whole thing happens because Wendy goes unchecked. Because her village is, I believe it's slaughtered by Harmonia, which I don't know if you hear about Harmonia in Suikoden 1.
It's mentioned once, I think, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's just a place.
Harmonia is the big badass country, like much further to the north.
Okay, like
they have the true rune that they're what is it? Is it a kleptocracy or what? Just no, that's not what. That's ruled by a religion. That's ruled by priests.
Okay.
That's what Harmonia is, and their top bishop has a true rune that affects prosperity. So he uses it, and it's a huge, powerful country, and they're constantly out hunting other true runes. So to get the true gate rune, they destroy,
which Wendy has half of.
Yep, Wendy and Leknot, they destroy their village. So in order to try to keep it out of their hands, they break it in two. Leknot gets the back half, Wendy gets the front half, and they flee. So Wendy is wanting to get revenge on Harmonia, but she falls into in her quest for revenge, she becomes Harmonia. She's going to villages trying to get more true runes. So she's doing what happened to her to other places so she can get, that's why she wants the Soul Eater. She thinks it would perfectly, normally you can only have one true rune. So she wants to figure out a way to get 2 true runes. And she thinks the Soul Eater would be perfect because she can go kill people, feed it souls, make it more powerful to complement her being able to manipulate people and cover territory and things like she does with the front gate rune.
Yeah.
So that's why she rolls into the hidden village that has the Soul Eater that Ted's grandpa then like, oh shit, gives it to Ted, run, can't let her keep this, and she's chasing you this whole time.
Which they do in a wonderful flashback.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I think this game doesn't do as good of a job as showing things happening. I don't feel like there are a lot of flashbacks. A lot of the past is told through dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think it's so much more powerful when it's done in flashbacks. Because, like, seeing Ted as a child, like...
being chased by Necklord and Uber.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, wow, that's a memorable moment. But
it also really impacts... It leaves you realizing how powerful true runes are because, each of these people are immortal, and they've been chasing Ted for 300 years because they have true runes. The Eightfold Rune, the Moon Rune, and the Front Gate Rune. So then Leknot is just, she has the Back Gate Rune, she's not as directly powerful as Wendy. Yeah. So she basically has to work through the shadows fighting against Wendy to try and stop her.
Right.
And
she also says that she's weaker than Wendy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she just straight up tells you.
Yeah, her rune isn't as powerful as Wendy's. So, but all this really happens because Barbarossa has the Sovereign Rune. I mean, he's a true rune wielder.
Which is convenient since he is an emperor. Yeah. Having the Sovereign Rune.
Which it's the Sovereign Rune, his family has passed it down generation to generation. Sort of like Harmonia has, I think it's the Circle Rune is what they have that allows for prosperity. The Sovereign Rune does the same thing. But its specialty is that the Sovereign Rune is immune to the effects of all other runes.
Which is a big deal because up to this point, you're realizing that Wendy has been giving the generals black runes, and she's been manipulating them through those runes. So throughout the whole game, I'm assuming that Barbarossa is being manipulated through a rune. And at the end, it is revealed that he is not.
Yeah.
And they do a nice job because that's a twist, but then they twist it again because, like, the twist is what? He's not? He hasn't been mind controlled? But the twist then again is that he, in fact, truly loves Wendy, and that's why he's been bending to her whim.
Yeah, he's brokenhearted because the true love of his life, his wife, dies, and Wendy coincidentally looks just like her.
We'll put that in air quotes.
Yeah,
coincidentally,
yeah. So
I'm sure that was part of her.
That might have been a part of her plan.
Oh God, it has to be because I mean, like NPCs in the village are even like, isn't it weird that she looks exactly like Lady Claudia?
Yeah. So this happens. He just kind of lets her run roughshod over his whole kingdom because he's brokenhearted.
Which she does not give a shit about.
Oh, no.
Like, and she makes that explicitly clear at the end. Like, when you're facing off, like, the very end, after you beat Barbarossa in his Hydra form, she's essentially like, well, I can see that this empire is ruined, no matter.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God, what a real, like, really, really shitty person.
Yeah, and I feel like that's when he sees Greg Minster on fire and sees this whole army has come. Then he realizes like, oh, I've just been too busy trying to recapture what I lost. I didn't even realize what happens. And then he grabs Wendy and he
slowly backs up.
Yeah, it's like Kefka in the zone of the statues. Like no one can hurt him. She can't do shit.
Right.
So he allegedly jumps off, kills them both.
What do you mean allegedly?
No one finds either of their bodies afterward. No one knows what happens to the Sovereign Rune or the Front Gate Rune.
Is that
after this moment?
Is that addressed in a future game?
I feel like it's talked about. Like no one knew what happened to Barbarossa after he jumped off. No one found the Sovereign Rune or anything like that. So we don't know if maybe Wendy was able to open a gate and they fell through it and lost in space and time, or she never comes back. I mean, I haven't played Suikoden of 5, but I know she's not like the villain or anything. So I assume that's something that was going to be addressed later in other installments. And then of course I know Uber from playing in D&D games of mine and Jacob's.
I do.
We always use Uber. We love Uber.
Sure. He didn't mean a whole lot to me in this game.
Yeah,
honestly, because you don't really see him a whole lot.
Just at the very end, whenever he like helps amplify Wendy's rune to summon even more monsters. Like there's a monster of like 100,000
that are like essentially just dealt with immediately.
Yep.
So it's kind of like one of those. I feel like the points in this game in the story that are supposed to have weight, the game undercuts itself almost every time.
Yeah.
Like the same thing with Gremio, where it's like, I remember rolling up into the final battle and seeing all those monsters that had been summoned and being like, holy shit, this is bad. And then it's like, they don't let it linger. They just immediately resolve it. And it's like, oh, we'll get rid of it. And then it kind of fails, but then it's like, oh, but then also we'll take care of it.
Yeah. Well, like Joshua, I think Joshua helps like not.
Yeah.
And then,
And it's kind of like, you could have gotten here, but like, I don't know, give me like a little window of time where
let you
agonize.
start fighting and get overwhelmed, and then
Sure.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say that there are several battles in this game that you are not supposed to win.
Yeah.
It's not just
that one.
No.
Because I didn't remember any of the others.
There are several. One of those is a war.
Oh, I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah, one of those is a war, which is unwinnable. You need the flaming spears in order to beat the cavalry.
Okay.
That's not a huge deal because you don't use a whole bunch of resources, you know, in that fight. But there is another boss battle that is unwinnable, and it didn't freak me out because the guide told me it was. But if I didn't have that guide, I would have been like really worried. But I mean, you know, when I'm expecting it, it's not a huge deal. But it is a trope that absolutely needs to never happen in RPGs.
Because I'm just going to spoil a very minor thing just because you said the flaming spears, because they're like a big deal getting these spears and everything in Suikoden 1. And you have Apple as someone you can recruit in 1. She's Matthew's, like she's very young Matthew student.
Yeah. Sure.
She's in.
She does sleep with him. And she does sleep in the same. She shares a room with him.
She's
little
in.
ethical issue going on.
It's back. It's a different time, Dave.
Right. A little power fantasy going on, I think. I didn't like her.
Her like Apple?
Her head looks like an apple. She looks like an apple with skin on it, and it's weird.
Like she's recruitable again in Suikoden 2. She's a much bigger character because she respected and loved Matthew so much. She tries to be a strategist, and she's no Matthew. So in Suikoden 2, she becomes your strategist in Suikoden 2. And during there's a battle that they're having trouble with. She's like, I know, did the trick last time. Flaming spears. Let's go get some. You get them, and then it works pretty well. And then the other strategist immediately has a counter, and Apple's like, oh fuck, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what to do. Run away. Failure, complete. And then she realizes I suck at this. I am not Matthew. So
I mean, I consumed enough of his sperm where I think I could be, but I'm not. I don't understand.
I'm half Matthew at this point.
Yeah, I swore off water.
See, what was that? And something else that upon going back and seeing how the true runes are in other games, because I just because what made sense to me did not happen in Suikoden 1, and it pisses me off, but I can understand it being early enough in the lore that maybe that's why it didn't happen. But they talk about the soul. Usually every true rune governs two different things. Usually they're opposites, because the soul leader is supposed to govern life and death, and it has almost like a final destination effect where people happen to die around it. It consumes their souls, things like that. Mm-hmm. And
where does the life come in? I didn't see a lot of life.
See, that's how it should have worked, because it should have. Because you find out later on, Harmonia was super prosperous, but now the other half of the rune, the stagnation effect of the rune, has come out. So Harmonia hasn't grown or prospered in decades because every rune has two parts.
So the answer is why hasn't the life come out is because they hadn't thought that far ahead yet.
Why is it you get 108 so you get to see the other side, the life aspect, and that's what brings Gremio back. See, that makes sense to me. Is because I know in Suikoden 4.
Then why is the back door gate rune needed in order to do?
See,
why?
I think they hadn't thought about. I think that's that point.
I think
because it made more sense to me. You've done all these things, because they kind of do that in Suikoden 4. From what I was reading, it's the rune of punishment and mercy. You never see the mercy aspect, except for finally that main character is able to unlock it. And you see the mercy effect, and then you can actually use that rune. Whatever, everyone else has only seen the punishment aspect of it, and it kills people. So I can understand the soul leader being cursed because no one's actually able to tame it and see its other side.
Sure.
So that would have made more sense to me. it brings Gremio back.
Right.
And it's, and that's the harder aspect of it. But instead they say that what I was reading, they explain it away like basically Leknot bent time and space to open her gate right as Gremio was dying and pull him out real quick.
And I mean, she does mention that she is going to manipulate with the rune, that she's going to open a portal and get him.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like she really goes into detail beyond that. And at that point, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, do that, please.
Yeah.
I like Gremio to be back.
So I would rather just have shown like Tyr's mastery over the rune be what brings Gremio back. But I really love your idea of who are you going to bring back?
Because I can't remember who the other two are. I assume one was Ted.
Ted, yeah.
And then I honestly don't remember who the other one was.
I don't either.
But there were 4 of them. I assure you.
Suikoden 2 is nice in that, like one part you meet an animal trainer, and he has 3 crystals that are one-time use items that allow you to talk to animals.
Oh, awesome!
So you can recruit animals. And what's cool in this Suikoden 2 is like you can get you could have a Kraken join your team, and it takes up 2 party slots. It's fucking
awesome.
massive.
Okay.
You can recruit a Griffin who does the same thing. But there are also, and they're stars, but there are also like a few characters you can recruit that aren't stars, that are very interesting, cool characters. So if you don't want a perfect record, you don't have to. You can have 2 Krakens in your party. And then because you had the 2 Krakens, you can recruit their child, a baby Kraken. So you can have the main character, 2 huge Krakens and a baby Kraken, and that's your party.
I love it. All right, I know how I'm going to play Suikoden 2. I don't think I'm going to worry about the perfect record. I think I'm just going to have fun.
Yeah, and you can have you and 5 flying squirrels. Or
no, I'm sticking with the Krakens.
The unicorn. You could have the unicorn, the Griffin, which the unicorn you can fuck up on because you have to send a virgin in with a listing crystal to speak to the unicorn, and the unicorn will join you. If you don't pick the right girl to send in,
don't send Kimberly.
The unicorn's like, no, fucking no. Because like if you send,
I don't smell a hymen on you.
Exactly, because you do. Like I watched a video of it of sending in the wrong characters to recruit the unicorn, and the unicorn like either refusing to come out, he'll come out and talk, and then realize they're not a virgin and be like, I'm sorry, I made a big mistake here, and walks away.
I meant to swipe the other direction.
Because you can recruit Sierra, who is
we're getting deep in Suikoden 2, homie.
Sierra is the one who Necklord stole the moon rune from in the first place.
Okay.
So, but she's like 1,000-year-old vampire who fucks. So if you take her, the unicorn's like, oh shit, no.
She's like, I'm gonna fuck that horn.
Come on, son.
You get back here.
I'm trying to think what else. And I love, because I never noticed it, because once I find out, like Hicks and Tengar, so it's tradition in the Warriors Village, you name your sword after your true love.
Right.
They never.
And that's where they're both from, Hicks and Tengar.
So and as you level it up, like once you go to Hicks's inventory, you see his sword is Tengar. Level it up, Tengar plus. Level it up again, Tengar plus plus. It didn't really hit me, then I realized like, you get Flick in your party, and his sword is named
Odessa.
Yep.
Yeah, and it goes to Odessa plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, because you don't hear him talk about where he's from.
Right.
That's the only giveaway.
It's nice. It's a nice touch. I love that you brought up Hicks and Tengar, because Tengar was in my final party, and when I was streaming, the joke was essentially that Hicks was the cuck of the 108 stars, because Tyr's just rolling around with his woman and just being like, oh, she's so good at magic.
Oh man, she's so wet with that flowing rune.
Because I mean, if there is, I mean, like, come on, like Hicks is like the meekest character in the game. I mean, and I do like the relationship between him and Tengar, because it's like anytime you see them in a cutscene,
she's like the fiery redhead
shouting at him always, and he's like, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's interesting.
Because that whole storyline is very Seven Brides for Dracula, because Necklord demands, she come to his castle, like he wants the tribute from the Warriors Village or whatever. That's what gets them to come in and be involved.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because, Necklord's like, I want to fuck that one. And Hicks is like, that's mine.
Sort of. I mean,
I mean, she doesn't like me at all, but I love her.
I put her name on the sword.
This is 1995. That's how it works, right? She's mine? No, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. That's how that all kicks off with Necklord. And then, of course, like, I almost said Clive again. Victor gets all his fucking panties in a bunch because he's like, oh, Necklord.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
Because I love Victor. I think Victor's such a good character. And I think a good Flick is a perfect foil to him.
Yep.
I also love Humphrey. Humphrey is better into, but he's walked totally silent, but carries that huge fucking sword.
What I like about Humphrey isn't, I didn't like Humphrey until near the end, where he starts to reveal some of his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the thing I like about Suikoden is I feel like there's intentional ambiguity. And I like that a lot. I think that kind of shows that, oh, okay, there's these little mysteries and stuff and they don't feel sloppy. They don't feel like loose ends. I mean, they just feel like they add depth to the world. And I like that. I don't know if they really get into the details of it, but there's a destroyed village, Kaleka. I don't know how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it.
I think that's how I said it too.
Where that's the village where you meet, where you try to recruit the Silverberg, and that village has a lot of weight to it because, like, you learn playing through the game that Matthew hates war because of that battle, and you learn that Humphrey was there leading 100 men, and that is where he turned on his commander. Because of the atrocities that happened there in that village. And it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, because you know the lore, but this is what I picked up from it. That was like a turning point battle. That location was like the turning point of a battle in the Civil War maybe the war between two countries. Like, that's where it all like went down.
See, I need to research it. I don't recall. I don't know if that could be in the Scarlet Moon War or whatever before. Where it was Barbarossa and he had other generals. And
there was a name that was mentioned that might jog your memory, but I sure as hell can't remember it. Because Humphrey also talks to somebody later on, like when you're trying to recruit some help. I think it might be in the Dragon Knight Castle. Or somewhere in there. It's really kind of getting hazy for me now because I did rush through the fucking last bit of the game. But essentially, there are hints that, like, oh, some serious shit happened here. And
I'll look into it because I don't remember.
I'm curious. Yeah, let me know what you find out. But that's also where you recruit a farmer, Blackman, and you just don't step on his seeds, and you can recruit them. And I don't know what the hell you do with them. I never saw him in the castle. I never saw him in a war. I don't know, man. We recruited him, bro.
I think Sarah is like you have to give her soap and she just washes your clothes.
Yeah, and I never saw her in the castle. I'm assuming she's there somewhere.
I think there's like a side room on one of the floors you can go out. And he has a farm.
Okay.
And then she's there with her wash bin.
I just didn't explore the castle enough.
Yeah.
We didn't finish. Remember when we started and we were like, where are all the hard characters to find? Never would have gone back to Necklord's castle. I never would have thought you got to go all the way through the whole dungeon. There's no shortcuts. You got to go to the point where you fight Necklord to get Peshmerga.
And Peshmerga's fucking badass.
Yep. What is their deal? Because like Peshmerga essentially looks like Uber. Are they like living armor or something? Because like that's kind of like
This is probably the biggest point of contention with Konami and its fans.
Oh, the biggest?
Yeah, because and they do more in 2 and more in 3 with Peshmerga and Uber, and no one fucking knows.
Really?
No one knows. Fans have been picking it apart, going through the Genso Suikoden novels and shit like that, trying to figure it out.
I assume they're demons.
No one really knows.
Because I mean, there's something in there. Because like Uber is the one who summons all those monsters, right? I mean, they're fucking demons. They're demons.
I think that's generally what people think. And then because Peshmerga's, he's not as powerful as Uber by any means, but he joins you in 1 and in 2 hunting Uber.
And his physical abilities are astronomical, but he doesn't. His magic abilities are shit.
Yeah,
He's purely physical.
But a double beat rune on Pesmerk, and he fucking he can tear shit apart.
See, I didn't mess around again. I didn't mess around with runes a whole lot. I kind of like set it and forgot it because it's just like, I don't know, man. I can't be bothered to be fucking changing. Like, you got to change characters so frequently that it's like, I don't know who has what rune, and it's like sometimes characters are involuntarily removed from your party, and it's like, well, I guess that I don't know that can't remember what rune they had on them, so I never really bothered with all that.
Because you find in the elf village, Fusulu is that guy that has the cat suit
the tiger.
on.
I think he's just a tiger man.
Yeah, his strength is even higher than Pesmerga's, but he's
short range.
Yeah, but his defense and his speed are even lower.
I wanted to use him because it's like I think his oh god, his star is like the brutality star or something like that, where it's like, oh man,
he hits fucking hard.
Like, I really want to try this guy, but the problem with it is he's short range, and so is Victor, so is Flick. And
that does kind of suck.
So it's just like I felt like I could never get another short range character in because it was constantly full.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. That's the replayability. I can see that too. Also, where it's like, I can't remember if we talked about this on the last episode or if we talked about it after we recorded. But I think it would be fun to like have themed parties. I wish this game had a new game plus, which essentially allowed you to customize the party however you wanted. And you didn't need to have characters locked into the party. I wish you could play through the game a second time with the 6-person, whatever 6-person makeup you wanted.
Suikoden 2 fixes a little bit by giving you an envoy. So it'll put characters that are usable, but they're usable, but they're essential to the quest. That can instead be in your envoy. So they're with you, but they're not in battle. So they're still there for all the story stuff.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice solution. I wish Suikoden had something like that because there were so many characters that I thought were really interesting that I never touched. And I didn't touch them because I mainly played with the characters who had like story to them.
Yeah.
Like Flick and Victor. You know what I mean? And it's like in Gremio. Even though I know Gremio was locked in for a lot of the time. Even when he wasn't, I would use him because it's like, he's my healer. I've gotten used to him being my healer. And it's like, I don't want to mess around with anybody else because like, he does a fine job. You know what I mean?
Medium range, healer, it's good.
And he's always next to Tyr. It works out. Yep. It's nice. So,
Because I ended up using one playthrough, I used Angie a whole lot, who is that elf you get toward the very end. Super high magic score. Super high. Yeah.
Pirate King.
Yeah, you have to have all the other elves in your party at one time when you go talk to him to recruit him or whatever.
Oh, no. I don't think that's Angie.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Ruby.
Ruby's
the elf.
That's it. Ruby's the elf.
Angie's the pirate king who
has the spiky hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is with Leonardo. I remember only because the Ninja Turtle and another pirate guy whose name I can't remember because he is not named after a Ninja Turtle.
Ruby is who. So there was one. My final makeup was Ruby and Fusulu because they just like magic and physical were just tore through shit.
I'm trying to think of any other characters that I really wanted to use, but really didn't feel like I could.
Antonio, the shielded chef.
No, I never used Antonio.
Lorelei, the Odessa palette swap.
No, if she had the palette swap portrait, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it was really. It's a joke, I'm sure, but I thought it was really nice that essentially Don Quixote's in the game.
Oh. Maximilian.
In the form of Maximilian with Sancho. Yeah, I thought that was really nice. And then like they play it up to that character too, because like he essentially comes like charging in after you've finished a dungeon. And he's like, I'll take care of this. And I can't remember, someone in the party's like, we did that already. Oh, you did? Well, can I join you? And Sancho's essentially like, please let him join. It was nice. I don't feel like there were a lot of like good humor beats in the game, so I felt like that was a nice one because it's like, oh, okay, this kind of does have a sense of humor. Yeah. Another sense of humor one was I was proud of myself because I found this character on my own, the second chef.
Oh, I don't even remember the second chef.
I can't remember his name, but there's a village where it's like, my thing with this game has been to always check the stew because they always have like different descriptors for the stew. It's like, oh, a hot stew, or it's like, like a wet stew. And it's like, what's it going to be this time? So every village I go in.
None of it's Gremio stew.
Right, exactly, which is, an actual stew. That's Gremio's thing. He makes stew and is, a defender, I guess, of Tyr. But there's this one village where you have to check all the stews. And when you do, the chef in that village will join you. He's like, oh, I see you checked all my stews.
See, it's hard that you can miss shit like that, but when you find shit like that, it's very nice.
Yeah, and I found that one because like I found that one without the guide, and it's like that was wonderful. Like I can't remember his name, but I will always remember that moment. Something else with Gremio, like we were talking about touching like moments that stuck with us. I have pretty much one more, and that is essentially one night when you're sleeping, Gremio like wakes up and like looks at Tyr, and it's before he dies, obviously, but it's like foreshadowing. He looks at Tyr and he like realizes he's like proud of how far Tyr has grown, how far he's come, and realizes that Tyr doesn't need him anymore. And that was like another one. And like he even compares himself to like, he says, I'm old enough I could be his father. And it's like, that's a thing where it's like, if I had played this game in middle school, would not have registered with me like what he actually meant by that.
Yeah.
But like now as an adult and as a dad, I'm like, oh, like he sees Tyr as his son, which is amplified by the fact that Tyr's real dad is 100% at odds with him.
Yeah.
So I think it's like that's my favorite part of the story is them exploring like those aspects of those relationships, because it's like it's a weird non-sexual love triangle. It really is, because it's like you've got Gremio, who kind of feels like Tyr's dad, and then you've got Tyr's real dad, and they're like pretty much at one point like, it's never
honor, duty, and love.
Yes, yeah, and they're like never unified. So I think it's pretty interesting. I guess they're only unified within Soul Eater.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the way that they're unified. That in their beginnings,
Yeah. Now, I do keep thinking I do like your idea of who would you bring back. I think that's such a cool, I wish that would be a very good ROM hack for Suikoden. So,
because I want Tio.
Yeah.
Like that's, and the other thing is like the reason that,
you bring him back and he's like, thanks. I'm going back to Barbarossa though. Like I told you this before I died.
Right.
Peace.
Yeah. I mean but like the thing that made me think about that is when Gremio comes back, how bad does Flick feel? Where it's like, Odessa. Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like you had the power to do this.
You could have brought back two people for one.
And you got the power to do this, and you brought back the guy who makes stew, as opposed.
But it's really good stew. Have you tasted all the other stews in the game?
As opposed to, I don't know, the original leader of the Liberation Army and the mother of my unborn child. Okay.
I didn't even think about that.
All right,
yeah.
Gremio, the guy who died for no reason.
I mean, you just reach out, just grab that arrow real quick. Like, that's it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought that's what made me think about it. It's
yes,
like how
Flick, but people gave a fuck about Odessa. No one really didn't make any impact when Gremio died, so
it just made Tyr really sad.
There's no butterfly effect for bringing Gremio back.
Yeah. And one of the things that is Gremio's death is where my affection for Victor kind of started to rise, because Victor goes back and everyone leaves. And it's like, I'm even thinking like, Tyr, you're just going to leave Gremio's cloak and his axe just lying in this fucking dungeon? Are you a monster?
He was a servant, please.
Right. And then Victor like goes back and grabs it, and it's like, fucking thank you, Victor. Jesus Christ. You're traveling with fucking heartless brigands. They look down at you as like the rough one who's like lawless.
Because Tyr, like, he was born into royalty, then it's just like, I mean, I had to rough it for like a little bit to go find another castle, but like, it's just like
that happened pretty quick.
I went from one castle to the other. Like, I just keep falling into pussy, so who gives shit?
Oh, right. I'm so glad you said falling into pussy because can you fucking explain to me what the hell Sonya, the last general, was talking about? Is Sonya Tyr's mom? Or was she just fucking with Tio?
She was in love with Tio.
Okay.
Like very much and resents Tyr's existence for being the union that Tio had with another woman.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Sonya was an interesting character because, like, she is one of the generals.
Come and fight my giant clam.
Right? Yeah, that literally spits
I'm the
pearls.
only female general. Come fight the giant clam.
Yeah. Yeah, not too subtle.
And also, we're running out of time, so Chasm Hazel just said he's fine with it and he'll join. So the guy who looks like a sultan is just down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not a perfect RPG, I don't think.
And then I guess it sort of makes sense in that, like, Chasm Hazel was Tio's best friend.
Sure.
So I guess he can see through the shit a little bit more and why he didn't, like, he's like, well, okay, well, you're right. Let's you've got my forces too.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like the mechanics of Suikoden are really, really cool. And I don't think that they're refined. But from what I hear, they become much more refined, which I like. But my biggest gripe with the game is I do feel like the story could have been treated better. I think it's a shame because there's a lot of really
they have a lot of good stuff.
A lot of interesting narrative, but like a lot of it to me fell flat.
Yeah.
Because of like weird, like, well, what about this kind of things? You know, like Gremio's death. Like it was, I'm not kidding when it was like completely undercut by the fact where it's like, well, this is dumb. This is like, this was a
at least Odessa took an arrow.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, I don't know, man. Make his death mean something. And I know they tried to do that, but like they just immediately undercut it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. But they also do things really well in the story. Like everything with like Kage, the ninja that you give
you just hear about how badass he is, and then 10,000 bits, and I'm I'll do whatever.
Right,
cool.
Exactly. So, but I love that they do that because you give him the plans for the flaming spears early in the game, but then you learn that he was also involved with the plans for that giant burning mirror.
Yeah.
That K-Wanda Rosman used. So it's like, whoa, what the fuck? We gave that same guy our secret weapon plans. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then like they explain it later with essentially him being like, I work for whoever pays me.
Yeah.
Give me 10,000 bits and I'll join you. So I think that's really neat. Like that's a really nice, subtle way of telling somebody's backstory.
Yeah.
And I
even that you don't find out anything else about him, because I know in Suikoden 2 and Suikoden 3 that there are detective characters. So you can pay the detective character to give you backstory on characters that you wouldn't otherwise find out.
Very cool.
So, but both detective characters in 2 and 3, you have them investigate Kage, and they're like, I can't find shit about this guy.
Don't know, man.
Like every time, like, I can't sneak up on him. I can't find anything about him. Like, I don't fucking know.
I think it sucks that the ninjas weren't great in in combat. Yeah. They're great in war. Like they are fucking I feel like you need them to be successful in wars. But like as far as like characters in the party go. Yeah, essentially. But that lead me that's a long way. It led me back to you talking about Tyr falling into pussy. Kasumi, the female ninja, like totally wanted Tyr, right? Because like there's a whole conversation, like Kryn, the absolute worst character in the fucking game.
Yep.
Igor to Victor Frankenstein. Like, I mean, bowl cut, hunched over, everything.
Eyes like off kilter, like, and just like
he's the Wario.
Everything about him, he's awful. He's awful. At least Wario's funny. Like Kryn's just.
Kryn is he's the worst. He is the worst. He has the worst haircut and just the worst attitude about anything. And then it's like, you stumble in, they're having a conversation about a spy in the Liberation Army, and you walk in and Kasumi says something to you, and Kryn's like, "Oh, you're always so ladylike in front of Tyr," and she gets really mad about that.
And I said what I said about Sonya. I'm basing this off something Shake told me a long time ago.
Which part about Sonya?
Sonya, about her backstory with Tio.
Oh yeah, okay.
That in her fortress, if you go up to her personal quarters and check her desk, you'll find a bunch of love letters and things. She wrote her feelings to Tio but could never give him. So that's how you get her backstory and relationship.
There's even at the very beginning of the game, I can't remember who says it. It might be someone like outside of her house, or it might even, I don't think it's her, but someone says something that kind of like insinuates that there's some kind of relationship there.
One thing because two things about Greg Minster. Like one, when you're in Greg Minster beginning, the music is so bold and energetic and it's super memorable. Like I'll never forget the Greg Minster theme. But when you finally go back.
How's it go? It's that because I remember the overworld. Okay, yeah. The one I always remember is which is like that is fucking burned in my brain because like that's the overworld theme, and it's like you hear it a lot.
Yep. But when you go back to Greg Minster, that theme is there, but it's muffled, and you hear it like over flames, and it's like and everything's dark because it's being besieged. Yeah. So it's like ruined. I love that music. Yeah. Just being the music being ruined too when you come in. Exactly. You just feel like the heart in this city is just gone. Yeah. And it's eerie going into Greg Minster because like you don't hear the music at first. It's all silent, and it's like the shops are locked, the houses are empty. Like it's pretty. Yeah, I mean they do a good job of setting the stage for the final encounter. And then I liked your talk with Ain Guide, who you had to fool to let you out in the first place, is the last one standing in your way. And like the guy you got through the checkpoint by Victor saying his Richter whatever. Schlottenheim the third. Yeah. Because he even there is like, I know the Emperor's fucked up. I know this is over. I can't let you pass. Right. But why don't you join us? I'm all he has left. Sorry. Can't do it. Then you destroy him because he is weak. Yep. It dawned on me like they tricked me because like round one, I'm like, fuck you. And I like threw everything at him. And then I was like, oh, wait, I bet. Then he hit me. And I was like, oh, never mind. Everybody's going to use physical attacks from here on out so I don't like blow all my fucking wad right here. Soul Eater, black nuclear bomb. I did. I mean, it was like judgment. I mean, it was like, oh, he hits like a kitten. Like, I swear, he had a single target attack. He's an old man with a stick. I'm all Barbarossa has left. I swear, dude, this is not an exaggeration. He did like a single target attack that dealt like 200 points of damage. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a trap. They want me to throw everything all my skills. This guy. Yeah, because that was in Ain God was who I sort of thought about with in the City game, which McElwain's character's dad was killed by this one guy who I built up. A whole lot. Like once, if you'd actually fought him, he was a 10th level commoner. Like, really? That's all he was. Awesome. The events that happen after Barbarossa dies. The credits. Is that what you're talking about? Well, kind of. Oh, leading up to the credits when you're leaving. Fleeing Greg Minster. Because it's like, I think it's really neat. Yeah, you're fleeing Greg Minster. It's neat because it's like you kill the final boss.
you get a cutscene where Barbarossa, the Emperor, leaps off the top of the castle with Wendy.
The floating gardens or whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which you see earlier in the game, which I think is a nice touch. You see earlier in the game where Futch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Needs to get a black lily to revive some dragons, we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, totally. I forgot about that because he has to get white because black died, and you had to use black's liver for an antidote.
Yeah.
And then, you go back, get him another dragon, and he has the baby dragon white.
We'll see. I don't think that happens in Suikoden 1. Because that's all news to me. What happened, and at least what I saw, is Joshua.
You're right. I'm confusing 2 and 3.
The Dragon King essentially kicks Futch out. He's like, you know the rules. I'm sorry. You lost your dragon. You're out. And he asks Tyr. I mean, he says, I'm sorry. And he's like, Tyr, will you please take him? Will you please take Futch and give him a purpose?
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway.
So spoilers, Suikoden 2, you go get him another dragon.
I mean, whatever. It's fine.
And it's white.
Yeah. But it's one of those where it's like this should have been a tip-off, and it's nice in hindsight. Like, this is good storytelling. This is why it's frustrating when the storytelling's not good, is because this is very good. When Futch flies to the floating Imperial Gardens to get the Black Lily, one of the 3 components needed to cure the dragons of their poison, Black lands in the garden, and Futch he's like, oh, he doesn't know which one. He sees several flowers, doesn't know which one's the Black Lily, and he picks one, and he says to himself, this looks like it might be the Black Lily. And then you hear a voice say, that is the Black Lily. And the camera pans, and it's Barbarossa. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, Futch is going to die because here is the fucking emperor of the opposing force, like, right here. And Barbarossa says, take it and leave. And Futch is confused, and he's like, do it before it's too late. And in the moment, what I'm thinking is like, what do you mean before it's too late? Like before Barbarossa like loses control or something? Mm-hmm. But like what he means
That's probably is what they're trying to get you to believe.
Right, which is what I mean by it's excellent storytelling, because I bought that. But what Barbarossa, in hindsight, what Barbarossa means is before Wendy shows up, because I don't want to stop her because I love her. But I won't kill you, but she most certainly will. And then she does show up and blasts him out of the sky, which then kills Black.
Yep.
But it's
we're
fine.
also giving the last thing you need for the cure.
Right, exactly. It just happened to work out. Yeah.
Thanks, kid. See ya.
Yeah, right. I was a little mad because it's like, I was a little mad at Joshua, because it's like, dude, he got the fucking Black Lily for everybody. It's everybody else's dragons to get cured. Not only that, you use the liver of his dead dragon. And
even Dumbledore let Filch stay on as the janitor. Come on.
And you're still like, them's the rules. Like, I mean, Joshua, lawful.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Do you remember, is Futch around Humphrey in the castle in Suikoden 1?
I don't remember.
Okay, because
they have a relationship.
Yeah, because in Suikoden 2, they're very like, Humphrey takes him under his wing.
I think that Humphrey does say in the castle, because you have to have Humphrey in your party because he's friends with Joshua. They're old war buddies. Okay. And I think they were even at that battle of Kaleka together. Like, because he talks about, yes, okay, so Humphrey, there is another guy in the Dragon Fortress. I know this is wonderful podcasting. Everyone's loving this. But it's like in the Dragon Knight's castle, Humphrey runs into, you recruit somebody who was at odds with Humphrey. And the guy's like, you expect me to join you after what you did after that battle? And it's essentially like, yeah, I mean, we have to join forces, otherwise the Empire's going to win, and then we're all going to be in the same boat together. And then that guy is like, fine, but we're not friends. And then guess who I never used ever?
I crossed you up my friends list years ago, Humphrey.
Right? Yeah, you're in the burn book, Humphrey.
Because I know Humphrey and Futch travel together in Suikoden 2. Like, you recruit and find them together.
But Humphrey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I didn't get to my point. I kind of got lost. Yeah. Humphrey, when Joshua kicks Futch out, Humphrey's like, "Don't worry, I'm sure there's lots you can do. You're going to be useful. I can show you how to use a sword."
Okay. See, that's good because I think they have a unite attack even in Suikoden 2.
Oh, nice.
And then Humphrey helps him get another dragon so he can become a dragon knight again. Suikoden 3, Futch is in it as an older adult. And his dragon comes with him, so he has a giant dragon that also is usable in your party.
That has its liver.
And he uses Humphrey's sword.
Oh, that's awesome.
Humphrey's not in it, but he has a sword.
That's awesome. I love that. I didn't use Humphrey much because I thought he was kind of a weak character.
Yeah. He's much better in 2.
Yeah. I know he can wear the wind-spun armor, which I think is like one of the best armors in the game.
Oh.
That you find like way later on. Like I couldn't find someone that could wear it. And then I saw in the guide, oh, Humphrey can wear it. Never mind. I guess I'll sell this.
Because he's slow, but he has high attack and high defense.
Yeah.
And no magic to speak of either.
But see, why would I, other than story reasons, why would I pick him over Peshmerga?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I'm just looking at it stats-wise, which I wasn't. Also, Peshmerga looks cool.
Yeah, because I've played through Suikoden 2 way more than I have 1. And I have what is fun is every time, like, if I used a character last time, I'm not going to fucking use them at all this time. And finding hidden gems everywhere I wouldn't have expected.
I ended up liking Flick a whole lot more than I thought I would. It kind of talking about Flick kind of brings us back to, we were talking about fleeing the castle. And then we got on that dragon liver kick. Once you beat the Emperor and he leaps off to his presumable death, normally an RPG would kind of end there, but I got freaked out because it does not end there. You have to escape the castle, and there are encounters on the way out.
Yeah,
and
you think the soldiers at this point would be like, fuck it.
Right?
But nope.
They are not. They're like, we are guards. I kind of get it, I guess. Maybe. It's like, they might not know the Emperor died. I don't know. But whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, this is one of my favorite moments because as you're leaving, you run into guards, and Victor is like, I'll take care of this. Flick, you and Tyr, go on. Get out of here. And you can try to persuade him to not do it, but he won't listen. That's another pet peeve I have with this game.
The circular dialogue options.
Don't give me options that don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like if there's no point. It's meaningless. If you're giving me yes, no, but the game won't progress unless I hit yes, don't give me a fucking option.
Yeah.
It's pandering. It's like,
it's true.
This has no meaning.
It's the weakest form of illusion of choice.
A very weak illusion of choice. Yeah. It's like I don't know.
It's a cantrip.
It's a street magic of choice. I don't know. But it's the pull a quarter from behind your ear of choice. So then you continue going, and then you run across more guards, and Flick is like, I'll take care of this. Tyr, you need to get out of here. And then Tyr does. And then there is this fucking wonderful moment where, like, I assume Victor was dead already. And he's not. He comes down to where Flick is, and they essentially have that Batman from the Dark Knight Returns moment where it's like, this would be a good death. And like, they absolutely, like, you can tell, like, in that moment that, like, the old Liberation Army, like the old members of the Liberation Army are like coming together, and you can fucking tell how much they hate the Empire because they are like, they know they are not going to make it, or that's how they portray it. At least I know they come back in Suikoden 2, I've heard, which kind of bums me out because it undercuts the weight of this moment.
Yeah.
Like in the end of Final Fantasy IV, where everyone comes back. But I mean, like there's this moment where like they know they're not going to make it, but they're like, I can't remember exactly what the line is, but one of them says, "This is gonna be the most fun I've had in a long time." I think it's Victor, and it is just like, holy shit! Like these guys hate the Empire, and I mean Flick, of course, too, because I mean like everything
killed Odessa and everything, yeah.
So, I mean, it's wonderful.
They do kind of have a Kakashi Might Guy thing kind of going on.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful comparison.
Because the arrow comes out of nowhere and hits Victor?
Flick.
Or Flick, okay.
Yeah, it hits Flick. And yeah, it's very... It's very cool. I mean,
so he is dying the same way Odessa did.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even put that together. You're right. That's poetic. The game really has its moments like that. And I just wish, it's frustrating to see those wonderful moments contrasted to other story moments in the game that I feel like fall flat. It's like, I know you can do it. Like, you've done it. And it's like, you've done it really well. Like, you got emotion. You like pulled emotion out of me when Tio died. And it's like, I just wish you could have done that when Gremio died.
Yeah. I still love whenever Pawn beats Tio, even he's like, the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I know. Right? He's confused.
Did I really just do that? Yeah. Get up. Quit joking.
And not only when I was playing, like, not only did Pawn win, Pawn fucking stomped a Mississippi mud puddle in Tio's ass. Like, I had put so much into Pawn and like read every one of Tio's moves. Like, I was like, okay, desperate attack. I know how to counter that. And it was like, I'm surprised that Tio's right and left hand man weren't like, holy shit, and like just ran and they're no longer recruitable.
Pawn the boar.
Yeah, no, I love it. There are great moments in that, because you're right. I mean, Pawn is just like beside himself that he won that battle.
Why was that working for you, bitch?
Yeah, he's essentially Wayne Brady in that Chappelle Show skit. Give me a sandwich.
Because God, like, Tio just fucking destroyed me with that. Because, like, I hated Pawn. He turned on me. I didn't use him. I didn't have anything on him. He still had, like, a level 1 weapon, a tunic and boots, and that's it. So, like, Tio just, like, regular attack, Pawn's dead.
Pawn had...
Like, how were you supposed to do that?
Pawn had priority. Like, Tyr didn't get the good shit. Like, when there was a crystal or something, Pawn gets it.
Nice.
And like, that changed. Like, before I knew, like, pump Pawn up, like, I was giving all that shit to Tyr. But then, I'm going to be real with you. Tyr kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Tyr kind of sucks.
He's
got the soul leader.
He's a good everyman.
But he kind of, like, as far as, like, characters go, like, I feel like his physical damage wasn't very good. When he ran out of Dark Shadow or whatever, the AoE spell, or Hell was really good. Essentially, I feel like Tyr was Soul Eater. Like, Soul Eater's the powerhouse.
He's the Soul Eater with Tyr equipped.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Tyr, yeah, right.
This is my human Tyr.
Tyr is a very weak Eddie Brock to the symbiote that is Soul Eater. He's like Eddie Brock's kid or something, Eddie Brock's 5-year-old.
Which, Suikoden 2, Ryu is Ryo. I don't know. It's Riou is his canonical name.
Ryo, maybe.
Because he's pretty much the same way.
Oh, really?
But they kind of spin it to where the main character is the healer.
Oh, that's interesting. That's nice. So you've always got a healer.
Yep.
I like that. Does he have a flowing rune? Does he have Mother Ocean?
He has the Bright Shield rune.
Oh, okay.
So you, of course, when you import the perfect data, that's when you upgrade
from
the bright.
Suikoden 1?
Yeah, that's when you upgrade, like, to the equivalent from going from a water rune to the flowing rune, the Bright Shield rune to, like, the perfect Bright Shield rune.
Okay.
You get that final awesome ability.
Okay.
You unlock that higher tier spells.
Do runes level up, or is it just like you just find it? Because I just kept finding better ones.
I think it's pretty much like I don't believe like a water rune can level up into a flowing.
So they don't evolve. Pokemon
I don't think
style.
so.
Right, okay. All right. Just curious.
That would make sense. I feel like if you had one long enough, like it would make sense if when Leknot gives Cleo that fire rune, if you kept that on her toward the end of the game, that it would become whatever the upgrade for the fire is. I can't remember what it.
I rarely use fire magic.
Yeah.
It was all lightning from Flick. And
that lightning shit, single target is fucking powerful.
Dude, like Raging Blow? Yeah. I mean, that's some good shit. And it fits Flick. I mean, obviously, he's blue lightning.
Flick of the blue lightning, yeah.
So, but also, it's just like, Flick is so angry, throughout the whole thing. And, like, not, like, violently angry, but, I mean, it's like, it fits him. It really does. It lightning suits him, for sure. And then I used Cyclone, and then I used Flowing. And that's pretty much it. I never touched fire outside of the beginning of the game with Cleo. Wind every now and then with Luke, but I realized that wind is the lesser of cyclone. And that's pretty much it. I felt like Tyr was worthless once his spells were gone.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have a whole lot of power. I mean, he's not specialized in anything. Like, he's not bad at anything, but he's not really good at anything besides the Soul Eater.
Unless he was paired up with Kai using the Unite attack.
Yeah.
That Unite attack is amazing.
Yep.
Physical attack on every enemy. Yeah, it's really nice.
No, it is really, especially earlier on in the game.
Dude, even honestly, seriously, there was like probably like 80% through. There was like, I was like, oh, I need to fill a party slot. Kai. And like, it was still, I mean, it was like, because all their weapons were maxed, and they had good gear, and it's like, it scaled. It wasn't as nice as, Dark Shadow or whatever, but I mean, still.
Doesn't cost you anything.
Doesn't cost a damn thing, yeah.
So, anything else to say about Suikoden?
I will tell you that it is very fun talking about Suikoden.
Yeah, it is.
I like talking about Suikoden. I wish that I would have had the opportunity to play Suikoden with you the same way that I played Earthbound with you. I think that I would have enjoyed Suikoden a lot more. I enjoyed it, but when I was playing Earthbound, I was coming over to TADPOG Annex 2, and we would hang out, and you would help me with Earth. Like, it was nice because you just enjoyed watching the game.
Yeah, I love Earthbound that much.
And it was
which I loved watching you stream Suikoden too. Like, that's by far the most fun I have watching your stream. Is I loved watching Suikoden, like watching your reaction and figuring shit out. Like, it sucks that I had to go to bed before you were done every night for the most part. But
yeah, I went late. It was really nice having you there. Like, it reminded me of those the Earthbound days where it's like, okay, cool. As long as like you and Chris and as long as you guys were in there, like, I felt fine. It's like they're not gonna let me miss anything. And when I started playing the game off stream, was like, I don't have Chris and Tyler.
Yeah.
So I need a guide. And there were other people who helped me too, but it's like, I don't know. Chris is in the Big Dick Pie Baker. Chris Vaughn is in the stream like all the time. Yeah. So it was nice, when he was there, and you and I have been friends. He
does more about Sweden than I do. So
yeah,
because he was coming with me with shit. Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, it was nice. I don't know. I guess my point is Suikoden. It's a game.
There's a lot of meat to those. There's a lot of meat and potential in this game. But it is fun to talk about.
Talking about it is very fun.
It's the way it's set up and the world and the characters. Like, there's so much potential, and it's really fun to talk about.
And you can find out little bits and things that you didn't know. Like, I mean, just talking to you, like, I found some stuff out. And it's like I found out super late in the game that apparently you can unite magic.
I knew you could do it in 2. I didn't know if you could do it in 1 or not.
And I didn't mess with it because I think, honestly, I can't remember who told me. It might have been Chris, but it was like, well, at this point in the game, I don't think I'm going to even mess with it because it's like if you use certain elements in like a certain order.
Yeah, because I think it has to be like the second level runes and shit like that you're using together. Because I mean, I only did it in 2. I never did it in 1.
So that's neat.
Yeah.
We have more stuff that we need to get through.
Yeah, let's do it.
I know this is a long one.
Yeah.
But
it should be.
I have some questions for you, Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
The first of which is, sorry, let me start that over.
Well,
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I have a question for you. If you were to give this game, Suikoden, a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the very nice trimmed Fu Manchu of Sun Tzu.
Oh, the Art of War?
The Art of War.
Because there's war in this game?
It's all about war, tricking your enemy, all sorts of shit. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Is rule number 1 in the Art of War like make sure you recruit all the ninjas?
Yeah.
Also, don't kill any of your enemies under no circumstance.
Give them a chance if they seem very different after you beat their asses.
Everyone remembers
Sun Tzu.
that famous line.
So, you remember that Sun Tzu quote? Wait, just sit there for a second and think about it and see if they're weird after you totally wreck their shit.
We need to make that as a Facebook image. attribute it to Sun Tzu.
Maybe our next shirt, all these Suikoden quotes from Sun Tzu.
Remember when TADPOG shirts got really weird? They made 18 fake Sun Tzu quote shirts. And then Dave made the 19th one, which is a shirt from the Sun Tzu.
Just a bunch of bears and shit going to
Just
war.
hot animals. No, I think they're sweating because it's so sunny at the zoo. Oh. Tyler.
And there is Suikoden shirts.
Shirts.tadpog.com. Keep a close
The
lookout.
zookeepers have shaved the true runes into all the bears. It's the Sun Tzu.
Billy, you gotta come see. A zebra was just born with the Soul Eater rune and stripes.
As the great god Konami has foretold.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave. We had to make reference to a false god every single episode.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, 100%. This is me corrupting you slowly over time.
I'm really, Phil, tell me, what is the Tadpog Pantheon? Tell me all of these gods that we've made up.
Oh, yeah, we need to know. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give Suikoden a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would it be?
I would give it the smart spectacles of Dale Carnegie.
Oh,
of how to win friends and influence people. Which is the other half of Suikoden.
Okay, all right. I like it. Which he is famous for saying, always cast judgment on the first Imperial you see before a major battle. He was also kind of a strategist. I don't know if you do.
Bit. Yeah.
I don't know if you read any of his other books, but they're about war.
I mean, you got to read his first one so you recruit people, then you go to war.
Right. It's two sides of the
He read
coin.
a lot of Sun Tzu.
Right. Yeah, he's influenced. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I've got another question. Yeah. If you were to buy Suikoden right now, if you were to go to pricecharting.com right now, Tyler, and look up Suikoden, how much do you think you would end up paying on average for a loose copy?
Suikoden PS1 loose.
Yes.
$50.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
Actual retail value of Suikoden loose on price charting at the time of this recording is $20.99.
All right.
The complete copy is $55.
Okay.
You could also get a new copy for $156. So there it is. There's the high one. I feel like $20 is pretty
$20
good.
is good. I think
Pretty good.
Suikoden 1 is worth $20.
Pretty good.
Do we have any achievements?
I have a few. Do you?
Yeah, sure.
Would you? Oh, okay. I'll go first then. I will interpret that tone and go first. I actually have a lot of them. I hope you're okay with that.
Yes.
I hope you're okay with having lots of time to come up with achievements.
I love it.
Some of these come from Twitch chat. Hey. The first comes from Nathan Eaton, and the achievement is Mount Waifu. In order to unlock Mount Waifu, you must force the Queen Ant to enter Ted's black hole and Mount Saifu. Second achievement from Twitch comes from Zalnop, Donkey Kong Jr. Math. And in order to unlock Donkey Kong Jr. Math, you need to assemble all 9 times 12 stars of destiny. I know I don't think I mentioned this, but there was a Donkey Kong Jr. Math tournament at prom, and it was amazing. Next one comes from me. There are too many Jeffs in the world, and many Toms as well, but I am Sancho. In order to unlock, there are too many Jeffs in the world. Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds like I'm waging war. That's a Sun Tzu quote. Did you know that? There's too many Jeffs in the world. We should all kill them. Just kidding, Jeffs. There are many Jeffs in order to unlock. There are many Jeffs in the world and many Toms as well. But I am Sancho. You need to recruit Sancho. Next achievement. These are all like movie references. They're not all of them. The next one I got is Bantapudu. And in order to unlock Bantapudu, you need to recruit Jabba. Not Jabba the Hutt, Jabba the Appraiser. That's a very unique name. I don't understand. Next achievement I got is Hey King. In order to unlock Hey King, you need to recruit Mose, the blacksmith. Pawn Stars. In order to unlock Pawn Stars, you need to defeat Tio as Pawn. And my last achievement, Lady Sovereign. In order to unlock Lady Sovereign, you need to force Barbarossa to jump off the floating Imperial Gardens with his lady in tow. And that's all I got.
Give me just a second. I'm trying to think of more animal characters.
Would you like me to help? Tony the Tiger.
From Suikoden.
Kermit the Frog. Oh, man. Tony the Tiger is totally who I would cast in the Suikoden movie to play Fusulu. Man, it all falls into place.
It's true.
Moose, who played Eddie, of course, on Frasier, would be Kuromimi, the kobold. You just put some like reindeer antlers on him. I'm sure you wore them.
All right, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm working on 5. Number 1, Hitler Get. You unlock Hitler Get when you recruit Mose. So I feel like Mose looks kind of Hitlerish.
He does.
Then I've got OG for Life. You do that by your final party consisting of Pon, Gremio, and Cleo.
Nice. The OG.
Yeah. And then Rebels for Life, your final party consisting of Flick, Victor, and Humphrey. Piss Lord.
Hard cut. Piss Lord.
You unlock Piss Lord by filling your bathhouse with peeing boys.
That's
an appraisal thing you can discover as a peeing boy.
You can find a peeing boy, like a statue of a boy peeing.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I never found one. I mainly found graffiti and hex dolls.
Yes. And then I was working on the Sun Tzu when I was trying to think. So finish your party with Kuramimi, Fusulu, and I'm trying to think of another animal.
Is there another animal?
I can't think of one off my head. Probably, but I can't think of one.
Oh yeah, the other kobold. The one who like really looks like a dog. It's like Kuromimi's little brother or whatever.
Yeah, he looks like a golden retriever or something.
His name honestly might as well be Arf because he is fucking
there we go.
like he is like the I remember when it was one of those where it's like I had to go out of my way to recruit this.
Who is this Clifford ass motherfucker trying to get in my army?
You really enjoyed that. I heard you squeak.
I did.
I know that's a good sign.
My pleasure squeak.
Oh man. Okay. Those are good. I like those. All right. Achievements. We did.
Yeah,
Wow. We haven't done achievements in a while.
Yeah.
I got some other questions for you.
Fuck yes.
More like 10 of them.
Love it.
Which come from Quiz Master Bovine Bear Matt. He's got one put together for us. This quiz is entitled Suikoden Pseudo Quiz. Pseudo is defined as not genuine, a sham. 10 Dave style questions. I'll name a pseudo character, I'll name a pseudo character, movie, video game property, etc. You must name the character, movie, video game property, etc. that is the genuine article or the original basis.
Okay.
So he's going to give us knockoffs, and we got to come up with the original.
Okay.
First one, Ryo Sakazaki from SNK's Art of Fighting.
This would be Ryu from Street Fighter 2.
100%. Locking it in. It is Ryu / Ken from Street Fighter. Pong.
It's a knockoff of ping pong.
I don't know what it is. Maybe a knockoff of a game called table tennis?
Table tennis. There you go.
I don't know.
That sounds good.
I'll lock it in. Table tennis.
All right.
For the Magnavox Odyssey. I knew there was a game. I honestly thought Pong came first.
Oh,
honestly.
I was like thinking of the legitimate playing ping pong.
No, there's a video game.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next question. The Great Gianna Sisters for the Amiga / Commodore 64.
Mario Brothers?
Yes, it is. Locking it in. Super Mario Brothers.
I was like, I know one Gianna, but I don't think she has a sister.
Hey!
I flummoxed Casey so hard. We were having a meeting, and somebody said something about Gianna De Laurentiis, and I was like, "What about the other Gianna?" And Casey was like, "God damn, now I can't think of anything else. Now I'm gonna fucking boner in this meeting because you want us to stop fucking talking about Gianna Michaels."
Golden Axe Warrior, Sega Master System.
From Golden Axe for the Sega Genesis.
I don't know. What is Golden Axe Warrior a knockoff of? Conan the Barbarian?
Conan the Barbarian?
I don't know, dude.
Gauntlet?
But he specifically says warrior. I don't know.
Or is he thinking the character, the Golden Axe Warrior?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if that's a title of a game or like the warrior, the human warrior from Golden Axe.
Or does he mean the badminton
Which
team?
the warrior from Golden Axe is a ripoff of Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
That's okay.
it.
You sure he doesn't mean the Golden Axe Warriors? Los Angeles prevailing badminton team? Might be. I'm locking in Conan.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda or Willow. For Golden Axe Warrior must be a different game than Golden Axe.
Yeah, because I was thinking he meant the human warrior from Golden Axe who looks like Conan the Barbarian.
He does kind of look like him, right? I mean, okay. Anyway, Golden Axe Warrior is a game apparently that I haven't played.
Because you said game or character. That could have easily been both.
Fei Long from the Street Fighter series.
Bruce Lee.
Ooh, yeah. Locked it in. Bruce Lee. Next, Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid.
Snake Plissken from Escape from L.A.
All right, locking it in. Snake Plissken. Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. It's a sequel. It's fine.
Never seen either one, so.
I've seen Escape from New York, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off. It's okay.
I believe you.
It's okay.
I've never seen it, and I don't intend on it.
The music in it's really good. I think the music of Escape from New York is better than the movie Escape from New York. There's also a couple of really cool scenes, but I don't know. I feel like that movie is pretty much like the premise is what's cool about it.
Yeah. It sounds to me like he just gets lost a lot.
Yeah. It's pretty much the sequel to Adventures in Babysitting. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Escape from L.A. Oh, rip off. They're just babysitting.
Yeah. We're falling down the rabbit hole. Next question. Sword Requiem. Smartphone game. Never heard of it.
Sword
Requiem.
We've already had Legend of Zelda Willow.
So probably Golden Axe Warrior?
Golden Axe Warrior.
All right.
Maybe Final Fantasy.
Okay. Final Fantasy. Locking it in. Fire Emblem.
Oh, okay.
Fire Emblem. Next one. Garfield Go. Smartphone game.
It's ripoff of Garfield Kart.
I think it's probably a ripoff of
Pokemon
Go is my guess.
God,
I fucking hope so, dude. I fucking hope. How can an augmented reality Garfield catching game be out in the wild and I not know about it?
Or are you Garfield and you go like you find Odie and kick him, or Nermal and tie him up?
Maybe it's like Mario Run?
Or John and suck his dick.
Dude, I hope it is. Can we lock in Pokemon Go just because I hope it's the
Garfield
thing?
Go. It could be.
And it's like you always catch Garfield at like the Olive Garden.
He only appears in Olive Gardens and Fazoli's.
Or the Marie Calendar section of your groceries freezer. I'm locking it in. Pokemon Go. It is! Pause! I got time out. I got to download this right now.
Go.
Holy shit.
As we both pull out our phones.
I know. I want to see the reviews. No way. This isn't real. No way.
Garfield Go AR treasure hunt.
No. Oh, it's a treasure hunt? You're not catching Garfields?
Win real prizes.
All right. I'm less amused now.
Collect rare comics, which are like the old art style.
When he looked more like a cat?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Garfield Go. It's got 4 stars out of 5 on the Apple Store.
I guess we're going to have to play it.
Look at this. This is how Jim Davis knows where everyone in the world is. Everyone who downloads this, he can just look. It's like Oracle.
Yeah, he can look back at us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You remember that quote? Be careful when you look into Garfield Go. Garfield Go looks back at you. Something like that. Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. Thank you, Matt. The quiz isn't over. It might as well be, though, because I can't stop thinking about that. Kirby's Avalanche for SNES. That is Puyo Puyo or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Yep.
Puyo Puyo. All right. Sonic Shuffle for the Sega Dreamcast. I've never played it or heard of it.
Sonic Shuffle sounds like a dance game.
Sonic had a dance game?
I don't know of one. I've never heard of Sonic Shuffle either. So it's either
the Sonic Shuffle where you tap your foot and look at your watch to the rhythm.
Because
was it a card game? Maybe
it could be a card game.
It's like solitaire with Sonic
with
card
Sonic.
backs.
Then they missed out calling it Sonic Tear. So
you guys remember that really weird Texas Hold'em game where you play against Sonic?
Remember you played Egyptian rat screw against Sonic? He was really, really fast to hit the cards.
I got Sonic Shuffle, man. I don't know. This is all you.
I'm trying to think of what that one
It's
dance.
it's probably a puzzle game. In all honesty, it's probably a puzzle game. Maybe? I don't know.
I've never heard of it. I was just trying to think of that one dancing game that Jacob and Leva and Ramon played obsessively for PS1. Or was it PS2? It's not Bust a Move, because Bust a Move but it's similar to that.
Bust a Groove?
Bust a Groove, maybe? Okay.
Yeah, because it's got this, it has a really similar name to Bust a Move.
I might say Bust a Groove.
Bust a Groove? All right, I'm going to lock it in. Bust a Groove. It is Mario Party. Mario Party. Okay. I did not know that a Sonic Mario Party existed. Nope. This is kind of got me interested.
They just gangbang Amy. That's it.
Oh, that's where the shuffle comes in.
Nice. Very nice.
But before I get the fuck out of here,
why do they call me Dr. Eggman? Give me your eggs, Amy.
If there was a video game character ever whose penis stole eggs from inside of a woman, it probably would be Dr. Robotnik.
The pee hole opens up and just like steals eggs.
Like a claw.
Or it's like a vacuum. It just hoovers up their uterus.
Who gets who pregnant, Amy?
I'll make plenty of cat-human hybrids. I'll let all of the preteens of the world name them after themselves and give them all superpowers. They're all emo, but best friends with Sonic.
It is Bust a Groove. I looked it up.
Okay, good.
We got it.
Remember, they played that game for like a full year obsessively.
Bust a Groove was like one of those games I remember like when I was in high school and I'd go over to someone's house who I wasn't really friends with, but for whatever reason, I'd have to be there. I feel like they would have a PlayStation and Bust a Groove. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. I guess because it was a pretty fun game. I thought it was fun.
I think it'd be a good one to do sometime.
Yeah, after the SNES list, I'm down.
I'm just going to wait until Paul Korn demands that we put him on that or he will murder us in our sleep.
Yeah, the episode hasn't even published yet. I just got a message from Paul. He's very upset.
Someone talked about a rhythm game somewhere.
Yes, his rhythm sense was.
My rhythm chlorians went crazy.
That's it. That's all the things.
Right? That's a good quiz. They give me some new knowledge that I did not know about.
It's a very good quiz. I honestly am less interested in doing an episode on Bust a Groove and more interested on playing Sonic Shuffle and seeing
and Garfield Go.
Well, I mean, that's a given. I'm actually playing it right now. Did you know that there are 4 Odies in this studio with us today? Just waiting to watch us get our dicks sucked by Garfield. That was a deep cut. For anyone who doesn't understand,
you'll never understand.
You just don't get it.
You had to be there when Garfield sucked our dicks. That was a weird Dragon Con.
Oh man, that would be a good Dragon Con thing. Is like see how many people you can get to dress as Garfield
and blow you. Did you go get your dick sucked in the Garf room?
Hey, I heard it's the last night on Alderaan. Me and 50 other Garfields showed up in case anybody wants to suck some dick. Who wants to suck some front tail? Oh man, you get someone come as
we're not all fixed.
You got someone come as Lorenzo Music Garfield. You got Bill Murray Garfield. You got 70s Fat Garfield. Mm-hmm. You got Deadpool Garfield.
Yeah. And then the masochist Odie, who's just there, just getting all holes filled.
Oh, yeah. Hot.
Yeah. Oh, man. We good?
I guess we're good, man.
Good.
We've been taking a lot of calls recently. You want to just close it out? Our 4-hour podcast on Suikoden Part 3.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks, bro.
What?
I got that Garf head on my mind.
I think you said thanks, everybody.
thanks for thanks.
Tyler's had his sleepy medicine.
United States.
Garfield. United States of Garfield. All right, it's a show where Garfield has multiple personality disorder. And he goes to the full repertoire of Garfield characters. He
is Garfield, Odie, Arlene, Nermal.
Did you guys know that it was all in his head the whole time? All of Garfield? I hope that's how Garfield ends. I hope Jim Davis is just like, you know what? All of this has been in Garfield's mind as he's been put down.
As his last moments, as John is petting him, as the light is fading from his eyes.
Dude, wouldn't that be the fucking best? Like, I feel like that's the best way Jim Davis could be like, fuck y'all for taking this creation of mine that I've built. Right? It just,
a nurse walks by. Oh, is this your cat? No, I just found it.
And it's not drawn. It's all photos. It's panels of photos.
And it's just this cat's dreaming of having an owner in his final seconds of life.
This real cat with this real man in a blue shirt. Man, I think we just wrote the best ending to Garfield.
We did.
Let's do it and tweet it to Jim Davis. Let's make the comic strip and tweet it.
Please loan a shot B, please. We have a really good idea.
It's all photographs. We just got to take photos. It'll be fine.
We've got Garfield for millennials. Give it to us.
Jim, if you don't like that, we have some great Sun Tzu quotes.
Have you played Suikoden? Of course you have.
Who's your waifu, Jim Davis? Probably a Sonya.
Kimberly.
Probably. I'm thinking he's a Sonya guy.
Sonya. Yeah. Sonya looks a little bit like Garfield. If I put Garfield in a beret, she'd be Sonya. Okay. Thanks for listening, everyone. So don't miss the next episode.
I'm going to enunciate one sentence perfectly and then
just go to shit real quick. You know how I do.
Yeah, I love it. No, this is classic.
It's like working out. I'm good for a week and then it just fucking goes to shit. So
no, this is classic. This is classic outro.
Classic Tyler. Yeah. You fucking lazy shit.
Classic outro.
Now go ahead and talk like Ross again for a sentence and then be drunk again. What are we going to do next week? We kind of talked about a few things.
Oh, well, you want me to do? Hey, we got a Patreon. I'm sorry. I'm just like so sideswiped by the last 19 minutes. You've taken a turn. We got a Patreon.
Hell yeah, we do.
And some people donate on there. It's patreon.com/TADPOG, which I mentioned because we got a recent iTunes review from somebody saying that they would donate the Patreon if I'm sorry, Tyler, am I boring you?
My brain's too hot. It has to cool off. We went over this knowledge I learned from Chuck E. Cheese. Only like 100 episodes ago.
It's Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
There was an iTunes review saying that someone would donate on Patreon. Someone would pledge if we do Spawn for the SNES. So let's do that.
Yeah, let's see. Put your money where your mouth is, iTunes donor.
Yeah.
So
that's your title.
Yeah.
iTunes donor.
iTunes
when we
donor.
learn your real name, iTunes donor Jeff, probably. Is my guess. Jeppy.
So.
iTunes donor Jeppy.
Jeppy.
Who left a very nice review.
Yeah,
very,
much.
very nice review. We appreciate that 5-star review on iTunes, and we will take your bribe. We will accept your bribe. Let's do Spawn next.
Spawn for the SNES.
Yes, we're listening. I mean, when you mention money, we're definitely listening.
Yep. Let's see. We're going to do that next. And hey, you want us to open a package for an intro? You want to send us something? You can send it to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. You can call us, Liv's voicemail, 270-883-2555. Follow us on Instagram, TADPOG_podcast. You can find us on Facebook. There's a TADPOG page, and then there's the more fucked up TADPOG Nation for all the shit you don't want your grandma to see.
Right, exactly. Or your Garfield.
Or your Garfield.
Which I don't know. Did you see Edgelord Kyle's post in the Nation about Garfield?
Oh yeah, TADPOG's just a bunch of Garfield jokes.
And here we are.
That's the best case scenario your daughter can walk away from this show with.
That is a good point. Prophecy fulfilled.
My dad's really did this Garfield podcast. He drives over once a year to meet his Garfield friends. His Gar friends.
His Garfield and friends.
Nice. Nice.
It's time to party. I think
is that the U.S. Acres theme?
Yeah, or Are You Ready to Party? One or the other.
I'll have to watch it again.
Da, 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 da. All I remember is, I hope you bring lots of spaghetti. I think it's the theme from Garfield. And
Friends.
I
hope you bring... Yeah, you're right.
That's the only part I really remember.
Yes.
Also about TADPOG Nation, I want to thank Brooks for streaming the first bit of the TADPOG Nation wrestling that he created through Fire Pro Wrestling. He did a stream of that on Friday night, and that was fucking amazing. Brooks, thank you, dude. That was a lot of fun. Also, the next night, Ben from Street Pizza streamed a Nation game night where we played some Jackbox games. I got in on
I watched a little bit of that, but the connection to the Ronald McDonald house was really bad, so I could watch it in like 30-second increments.
Oh yeah, that's no good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So Ben, thank you for doing that. And everybody who's listening who hasn't already checked out Street Pizza Podcast, definitely check him out.
Twitter, TADPOG_podcast on Twitter. I think that's about all our shit then.
Yes, I
if
do
you
want
shirts.tadpog.com.
Shirts.
Yeah. Everybody.
I do need to thank some Patreon donors, some recent ones. We've got Exalted Lord Micah Purdue. He's upped his donation, riding that penny train. We got Nick Price, who just recently upped his donation, more than a penny. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate it. I got the whistle in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Riding that dollar train.
Shit.
Riding a dollar train.
Man, what do we do for that?
I don't know. You got any ideas? Invite him to our Garfield party?
Yep.
Nick, you're invited to our Garfield party. I also like to thank Chris Murray, who just recently upped his donation, riding that penny train. And John Hewitt for upping his donation by 2 pennies. Riding that...
Damn.
Wheat leaf penny train? I don't know. Those are still just a penny. But my grandmother used to think they were a huge deal. So I'll give him some of these.
A wheat penny?
A wheat penny. Like a wheat leaf penny. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know. She had a big jar. She would keep this big, it was a vase, and it was just full of wheat leaf pennies. And I remember them as a kid, and I remember her telling me that I was going to get them. And then that never happened, so I don't know. I don't know where they are. I would find
out where the fuck those wheat pennies are.
Are they really worth anything?
I don't know.
I
just think it'd be fun. Let's get what you're owed, Dave.
All right.
Let's fucking do this shit.
All right. It's fine. Wendy style.
If we're going to get Cousin David in on this, we're going to fucking do it.
Different side of the family.
Even better.
Okay.
He won't care who he kills then.
I'll make it really even weirder somehow. Also, we all need to dress up as Garfield.
It's my cousin from the good side, you fucking dicks.
All right, I got an idea for a movie I just came up with. It's a Clockwork Orange, but everyone's dressed up as Garfield.
You can still call it a Clockwork Orange.
Right, exactly. That's why it makes sense. Garfield's orange.
A Clockwork Purringe? No, Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange Cat.
Cockwork Orange.
A Cockwork Orange Cat. Right. Love it. Perfect. Got it in 4.
Yeah. Coming to IMAX. All right. Well, this is a really stupid end to this show.
Let's make an IMAX porn theater.
Those have to exist somewhere, right?
I don't know.
Somewhere in the world that exists.
But if
Seriously.
they don't, trademark.
Right, yeah.
Trademark on IMAX's trademark. IMAX porn trademark.
It's called Icon.
They don't have that.
It's called Climax.
If Justin McElroy can get Teen Google, we can have IMAX porn. Our theme song is Moose by Sycamore Drive. Link to that track can be found in the show notes at tadpog.com. How you gonna close it out, Dave?
I don't care. Oh yeah, Matthew dies in the game.
Yeah, you're right. Damn it, you're totally right. Yeah. And I was more sad about that than Gremio.
Yeah, me too.
Because Matthew's a great fucking character. He is your Suiko dad.
And he's essentially, honestly, the main character of the game. Yeah. Like, really.
Yeah,
I think he's more the main character than
the
Tyr
backbone.
Is. That feels like a thing we should have mentioned a long time ago.
Yeah. Hey, if you hug in this far, now you know. Now you know how you really feel.
There's your special treat. There's also another thing that I meant to mention and totally forgot. I'm going to be driving home, and there's going to be like 100 things. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Like, there's a guy in Suikoden 3 who I feel like is the real character. The main characters take up the same star in the 108 Star of Destiny. So this guy has the main character star, but he is by far not narratively the main character.
Okay.
They talk about the 3 big rune bearers, but then there's this other like meek kind of heart. Like if all the others have the badass Planeteer rings, he has heart.
I got you.
So he's really weak. He's not a very good character to have. He's just a super nice guy, and I think he's really the main character of Suikoden 3.
It makes sense because Tyr's really weak, and
yeah.
And I don't know if he's a nice guy. He certainly wasn't when he made Gremio threaten to kill himself.
And then just left after Gremio did actually die.
Right.
Man. And then killed his dad. And then
Tyr's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah. That's why Soul Eater's like, this guy,
Yeah, I like this guy.
I'm not gonna fuck with this man. Shit.
Yeah, he can take a body out of me. It's fine.
I guess we should also say that Ted didn't die whenever you think that he died. He doesn't die until he sacrifices his soul to the Soul Eater later on in the game.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Because he knows Wendy's coming. He's like, Soul Eater, take me now as, your former owner. And Soul Eater's like, yeah. Right. Nom, 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 Ted Soul.
Gotcha, Ted. Do you think, so Tyr is in Suikoden 2?
Yep.
Does Soul Eater eat him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
I mean, him and Gremio both had very much improved character portraits.
But God, I hope they make out.
Oh, I mean, they fuck. They fuck.
Whoa.
No. Gremio's a power bottom.
Of course he is.
Young master.
Yeah.
Young master of this asshole.
Stop, you're turning me on.
Yeah, I got this scar. Did you think I was a girl? You can treat me like that. It's fine. You guess I'm sort of hot, maybe?
I can work with that.
Fuck me, Ashley Shake.
I'm isolating that.
Fuck me, Gremio, Ashley Shake.
I'm isolating that too.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell the story. I'll tell.
You already have on the last episode.
All right, how about
please
Tropical Capricorn? There we go. Now here's the stinger.
Do I get to say it too, motherfucker?
No, you're not. You want to do it? 1, 2, 3.
Tropical Capricorn.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I think here's the stinger. Here's a good stinger.
You were hopped up on sleep meds and feeling punchy.
Yeah, because this is funny and it makes sense oddly because I remember Josh told me this story a long time ago. Like at one time, it was him and Shake and I feel like someone else maybe. It was super late at night. I'd gone to bed and Shake turns to Josh like, "Okay, man, say like tomorrow." Tyler wakes up and he's like a girl. He's like a hot girl, like tomorrow. Would you fuck Tyler if you turned into a hot girl tomorrow? And Josh alleges to me he said no. I guess I don't have confirmation that Josh really said no.
Were you hurt?
Well,
a little bit, of course.
I understand.
I would be.
I mean, Shake is just imagining I'd fuck him. So, I mean, bully to you, Ashley Shake. I mean, you don't know what my girl standards are going to be. But Josh's like, I don't think I could do that because it's still Tyler. So I don't think I could just fuck him. And Shake was like, oh man, I'd fuck him. I would fuck suddenly girl Tyler.
How would that work? Would you have like I mean, you'd probably have to spend some time exploring your own body, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't know. Shake, help me, please. Help me test out this vagina. Does it have a red beard now? I don't know. Suikoden.